of great builds, great pools, was unmatched. So, of course, who did we call? Russell Pool. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
I'm Christine Lisi. Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford did not take part in today's joint practice with the Cowboys, hasn't practiced at training camp because of a lingering back injury. He did see a back specialist over the weekend. Coach Sean McVay has said, though, he's very confident Stafford will be ready for Week 1 against the Texans. With a healthy Stafford, LA will be among the NFC's best this fall, says ESPN NFL analyst Herm Edwards.
Stafford is a 15-year veteran. His clock is ticking, too. He knows that he only has so many years left. He has a really excellent football team. They are the favorite in the NFC West, by the way, this Ram team. And they're good on both sides of the football. They're one of the top 5 teams in the NFC, period.
Rams running back Kyren Williams signed a 3-year, $33 million extension, $23 million guaranteed. Quarterback Teddy Bridgewater signed with the Buccaneers. He'll compete to back up starter Baker Mayfield. With a couple of quarterbacks nursing injuries, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders, the Browns signed Tyler Huntley. Baseball, Yankee slugger Aaron Judge returns from injury tonight against the Rangers.
Your summer drink is here. Twisted Tea is a smooth, refreshing, hard iced tea with 5% alcohol, making it the perfect drink to take any day this summer to the next level. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
That's right. Woo!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Murray. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Shea Dixon here in 15 minutes from right now. We'll head down to Saints camp next hour. Eddie Kennison, former Tiger great, will be here in hour 3. Talk a little LSU football. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
All right, football Tigers are back out on the practice field on Tuesday, the first full pad practice so far of fall camp. And they were, as Brian Kelly said they would be, in a full contact, full tackle scrimmage period to end practice. I'll do things a little bit differently today. Normally I kind of go sequentially through practice. What I want to do is start with the play-by-play from the 11 on 11. This is how so I'm going to start with the end. This is how they finished practice. They were outdoors. It was about a 2-hour workout. It was hot. They were full pads. They played some 7-on-7. They had some pass rush drills, did some special teams, beat up on each other a little bit, and then wrapped up the practice with a full contact, full tackle scrimmage at the end. Now, I say scrimmage because it was a true down and distance. This wasn't situational where it's like, all right, you're just working on 1st and 10 or 2nd and 5. This was offense, take the ball at the 20, see if you can put a drive together. This is how it went. And you will notice a theme. I will go through the play-by-play, and you will notice a theme. So by the way, the first defense was, and I'm looking at my handy little notebook. This is what I keep my notes in for those if you're watching. I bought it at Walgreens. It's a little notebook. Your defensive line, your ends were Pyburn and Relaford. Your tackles were Dom McKinley and Bernard Gooden. Your starting linebackers were the Weeks brothers. Mansour Delane and Ashton Stamps were your corners. Harold Perkins was the star. And then Tamarcus Cooley and Jordan Gilbert were the starting safeties. That was your first defense. This was the sequence. First down. Nuss pressured scrambles for 5 yards. By the way, Gabe Relaford was offsides. Free play, so it's 1st and 5. Handoff to Caden Durham for 4 yards. Tackle made by Jack Pyburn. Pretty good start. 2nd and 1, right? Yeah, good start. Bernard Gooden, 2-yard tackle for loss. Now it's 3rd and 3. Sack, drive over. Oh, they were just getting started defensively. So it's 1st and 10 again. They move the ball back. 1st and 10 again for the offense. This time Harlan Berry's in with the ones. By the way, Harlan Berry jumped Caleb Jackson today and was the first back after Caden Durham. I don't know that I read much into that. Just giving him reps. Handoff to Harlan Berry. Dom McKinley, 2-yard TFL. 2nd and 12. They got Trey Green over the middle. Nuss puts it on him. Boom. Jordan Gilbert dislodges the football. 3rd and 12. Jack Pyburn, sack, drive over. The defense was active and disruptive today. So they send the twos out there. This is your second team defense. By the way, this is illustrative of why I think LSU's defense is going to be much better. This was the second defense, okay? Your tackles were Jacobian Guillory and Ahmad Bro. Guillory's a 6-year player. Bro was a really good contributor for you a year ago. Your ends were Jamari Butler, a 6-year player, and Patrick Payton. Maybe you're the best defensive end you brought in via the portal. Your linebackers were Tylen Singleton, Devon Keys. Your star was Charles Ross. Your corners were DJ Pickett and PJ Woodland. And your safeties were Deshaun Spears, a 5-star, and AJ Halsey, one of your best transfers. That was your second team defense. You want to know why the defense is wrecking things right now? Because things like that. Here you go. Here's the second offensive series. 1st and 10, they handed it to Caleb Jackson for a 4-yard gain. 2nd and 6. Xavier Thomas, out of the running back spot, takes a handoff for a 1-yard loss. There was nothing up the middle. He bounced it outside. DJ Pickett made the tackle around the end. Really nice play by Pickett. So it's 3rd and 7. Pass intended for Barry and Brown, who was open. By the way, Van Buren was the quarterback here. Open, and P.J. Woodland comes up with the pass breakup. 3 and out. So they move it back, start over, 1st and 10. This time, J.T. Lindsey, the other freshman, gets in there, takes a handoff, straight up the gut for 10 yards. First down for any of the offensive series so far. So it's 1st and 10. Hand it off to J.T. Lindsey again for 2 yards, so it's 2nd and 8. Michael Van Buren's pressured. He scrambles for 1 yard. It's 3rd and 7. Tylen Singleton blitzes and sacks Michael Van Buren, drive over. So the ones go back out there. It's 1st and 10. Jack Pyburn, 5-yard TFL on a handoff to Caden Durham. 2nd and 15. They check down to Caden Durham because Nuss was being pressured. He gets a 1-yard gain. 3rd and 14. This was the best play. 3rd and 14. Nuss has a clean pocket, fires over the middle for 19 yards to Kyle Parker for a 1st down. The next play, they ran a counter to Caden Durham, right side, 45-yard touchdown. Overall, this has been illustrative of what we've seen so far in these team periods. And by the way, on the 45-yard touchdown, Jordan Gilbert missed a tackle. He was the only guy who had a shot at Durham. Durham broke the tackle and scored. The defense is overwhelming the offense. The front seven. The defensive front seven is overwhelming the offense. But the offense is so explosive that they still make plays. Earlier in practice, they ran an 11-on-11 period. That was situational. It was all 1st and 10. Like they've done some 2nd and 5, 2nd and 10. It was all 1st and 10. When they went 11-on-11 earlier, first play, Durham got stuffed. Second play, Nuss scrambles to the right, intended for Bauer Sharp. Harold Perkins was blanketed all over Bauer Sharp, incomplete. The third play, 5-yard run by Durham. Then Harlan Berry had back-to-back runs for 3 yards and 4 yards. And on the 6th play with the ones, he's got Nuss has Chris Hilton open deep in the end zone. Nuss pressured, underthrows it. It's incomplete. Hilton had to kind of fall to the ground coming back toward the ball, bounce off his hands. He missed it. They've hit a lot of those big plays at the end of drives. But if you look at a 6-play offensive sequence, 5 plays goes to the defense. The one big play is what the offense come up with. I know the feeling right now for a lot of people. And by the way, that was one of the things Brian Kelly was asked after the scrimmage. He was asked kind of about the offensive line and the defensive line, about how the offensive line kind of got overwhelmed today. And play number 2, this is what Brian Kelly said.
When we go into these scrimmage situations, I'm much more interested in the evaluation, not the congratulations. This is evaluating what are the things on our football team that we need to get better at individually, collectively, as a unit, offense and defensively. I'm not looking for guys getting patted on the back saying, well, what a great scrimmage. It's one. I want to be able to evaluate. And today, for me, is a great evaluation day.
He said a lot there without saying a whole lot about what we saw, which was the offense it was just like a tidal wave of the defense, the guys in purple just overwhelming the guys in white. Here's my takeaway, okay? And I've been out to every practice they've allowed us to watch. I've seen every minute of everything they've allowed us to watch so far. 6 practices, they've given us availability to 5 of them. I've been out there for all of it. I go out and I watch the offensive line do one-on-one pass rush drills against the defense, and the offensive line more than holds their own. Watched Tyree Adams stonewall Jack Pyburn twice today in one-on-ones. They got talent on the offensive line. Like, I will be bullish in that stance. Like, Braylon Moore is awesome. Like, he is so quick with his hands, and it's the hardest thing to do is to snap the football and get your hands up simultaneously, and he's so good at it. It's just a night and day improvement from a year ago with DJ Chester. They've got dudes. Now, Josh Thompson can't block Bernard Gooden, but nobody has been able to block Bernard Gooden, quite honestly, so far. Josh Thompson's done very well otherwise. All that to say, I know that offensive line has dudes that have played a lot of football and are very talented. They just haven't played a lot of football together. And Blake Baker right now has waves of dudes that are going to be NFL draft picks. Like, this is why I'm less concerned about the offense and more bullish on the defense. Like, Jack Pyburn is going to be picked in the NFL. Bernard Gooden's going to be picked in the NFL. Don McKinley, Gabe Relaford, Patrick Payton, Jamari Butler, Ahmad Bro, Jacobian Guillory. That's your 2 deep on the defensive line. Those are all guys that are going to be NFL draft picks. All of them. And they're all veteran. The youngest guy among all the ones I just mentioned is Ahmad Bro, who's a sophomore. Like, all those other guys are veteran dudes. 4th, 5th-year guys. One's a 6-year guy. You have veteran talented dudes all over your defensive front. And you have 5 offensive linemen that have played together for 1 week in their current positions. The onus is on Brad Davis, certainly Joe Sloan. I would throw Alex Atkins in there as well as the run game coordinator, also the tight ends coach who's working in tandem with a lot of these guys. To get these 5 to play as one, you got 3 weeks to do it. You got 21 practices. You got 21 camp practices before you get into game week for Clemson. You got 21 practices, 6 down, to get these 5 very talented dudes to play together as one. They do that, I think you're going to be really good. I also think that LSU defensive front is going to overwhelm a lot of people because they are deep and they are talented and they are experienced. And they showed it today. All right, it's after further review. Our show open every day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of the LSU Tigers. Y'all, gonna be tailgate time soon. Maybe you're enjoying those last few summer, August Saturdays and Sundays out by the pool before the kiddos are back in school and before you're spending Saturdays out tailgating for the Tigers. You're going to be hanging out by the pool or at the grill or whatever you're doing. Make sure you got plenty of ice-cold Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of the LSU Tigers, the official beer of your New Orleans Saints. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light and our friends over at Mackel Beverage and Bud Light. All right, it's after further review. I'm going to come back and give you the rest of my practice notes in hour 2. So in about an hour and 15 minutes from right now, I'll come back and give you the rest of my practice notes from Tuesday. But let's stay on time. We'll come back. Shea Dixon visits with us every Tuesday. We talk a little recruiting. When last we talked to Shea, it looked like Deuce Gerald's was going to end up at Oregon. Well, something changed, and Deuce Gerald's picked the Tigers. We're going to get Shea's reaction to that and what's ahead. That's next on AFR.
After further review.
We're brought to you by the Watermark and the Renaissance. Watermark downtown, Renaissance Southtown. Remember, Renaissance Baton Rouge is right there on Bluebonnet. Gorgeous, sprawling hotel with 5,000 square feet of meeting space, from boardrooms that can host a dozen people for your intimate board setting, or their grand ballroom, which can host events for 500 people, a wedding reception, a fundraiser for your nonprofit organization, an awards banquet. Several years ago, Louisiana Association of Broadcasters had our LAB Awards Banquet, the Prestige Awards, at Renaissance Baton Rouge. It's also an awesome spot. Remember, it's where LSU, the football team, stays the Friday before every home game. So if you're already starting to plan for your football Fridays and Saturdays, maybe you got family or friends or colleagues coming in from out of town, make sure they know about Renaissance Baton Rouge, but don't you wait. Don't think you're going to dial up Renaissance Baton Rouge the Friday before the Florida game or the Tuesday before the Florida game. You're going to get a room. Book those rooms now at Renaissance Baton Rouge, right there on Bluebonnet.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Mornings with Brian Haldane is the only live and local talk show in the capital city. Get the news from the newsmakers, along with traffic and weather updates throughout the morning. The conversation.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Remember, Bunky and below, you want a Deere, you're going to Sunshine. SunEquip.com, SunEquip.com. Thanks for hanging out with us here on this hot, beautiful Tuesday, 94 degrees in Baton Rouge. Saints are about to be wheels up out to L.A. They'll have some joint practice with the Chargers. First preseason game on Sunday. Tigers rolling through fall camp. They'll be back on the practice field Wednesday with no media availability. And then they're off Thursday for a recovery day. They're back out there Friday. We have access Friday, and then a scrimmage Saturday with full media access as well. Of course, we'll be getting your reports both on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and LouisianaSports.net if you want the written form for free over there. And also my Locked On LSU podcast, give you practice reports there as well. So please check that out on YouTube or wherever you get podcasts. Just search Locked On LSU. Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger, good enough to join us as he does every week. Shady, how are you, man?
I'm doing well. How are you, Matt?
I'm great. Last week when you and I talked, it kind of felt like Deuce Gerald's maybe was an Oregon lean. And then late last week, it turned. So people close to the program, I know you all started, I saw Wilt Fong, and you put in the predictions for Gerald's to land at LSU, and ultimately he did pick the Tigers. What happened?
Yeah, and I think a few weeks prior to that, LSU was kind of considered the team that might have been up front. And look, obviously in the rev share era and NIL, all of that comes into play. And we've talked about that a bunch on here, is that's a discussion that goes on throughout a recruitment. But whenever you have an agent and you're coming down to making a commitment, it does come out up more often as a talking point. But I think also LSU just went into overdrive, not just on a competitive NIL and rev share offer, but the reality that, hey, look, your dad played at Scotlandville. You still have family in the Baton Rouge area. You're planning to leave Georgia for college anyways, which is where he plays high school football. And then Oregon being the main competition, that is a far trek. If it's LSU, look, your family can move back here. You've already got family here. And then the development of, playing on the LSU defense right now with Kyle Williams, longtime pro, and the D-line class they put together, which is, I think, inarguably the best D-line class in America right now, with multiple 5-stars, Richard Anderson, Lamar Brown out of Louisiana, and then you add another top 10 D-lineman in Deuce Gerald's on Saturday, a day after landing the top uncommitted D-lineman in Louisiana, Darius McKinley, Dom McKinley's younger brother, with Dom obviously kind of in line to start at DT this year for LSU. So that's just what D-linemen, tossing a couple edges out of Florida, and boy, a top 10 guy in Trenton Henderson, top 10 edge rusher, top 50 prospect. Kudos to Blake Baker, doing the whole staff really, but Kyle Williams and Kevin Peoples have proved to work pretty well on their recruiting trail.
Shea, I want to ask a follow-up about Gerald's, because we here have talked a lot about the prototype that Kyle Williams wants and how it's kind of a contrast from Bo Davis, right? Bo Davis, just look at the lineman Bo Davis recruited. Like Zion Williams, we got to practice, Shea, 6'5", 350. He's a massive dude. Sadir Mitchell. Kyle Williams went and got Bernard Gooden, 6'1", 268. He wants dudes that look more like him. And that's the mold that Deuce Gerald's fits. So to say, and this is completely speculative, but if Bo Davis were still the coach, do you think LSU would have had as good a chance of landing Deuce Gerald's?
I don't know. I think they're in such a better spot as a staff, NIL, organizing rev share, that they can make these pitches that they can back up. So I can't say one way or the other, but I will say that he played a large enough role with Deuce and others on staff, like Frank Wilson recruited his father. Blake Baker and the staff have been on him for a long time, even before Kyle Williams joined the staff. But I'm not sure. I will say this. We haven't seen a group of D linemen like this that are this highly ranked commit to LSU. We've been the rhetoric, Matt. It has been year over year over year. You just had a new D line coach, and it's really hard to build relationships that way that lead to commitment. So for them to do this in somewhat short order, granted they've recruited Richard Anderson, Lamar Brown, and Deuce for a long time, but to do it with staff turnover, I think, is kind of the impressive storyline.
Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger is with us. Shea, let me get a follow-up there about Darius McKinley, who committed. We always get the question, is he as good as his brother? I remember we'd have those same questions with someone like Jacob Bradford or Leonard Fournette. It's like, well, no. I mean, his brother's the best player in the country at his position. But it doesn't mean Darius McKinley, when I look at his offer list, it's really impressive. What kind of prospect are they getting in Darius McKinley?
I think a true interior guy that can play a couple of different positions for you there. I mean, he's still growing. Remember, he's about to be a senior. It seems like only yesterday he was starting as a 9th grader at Acadiana, which, for those familiar with high school football in Louisiana, that you don't stumble into that. You've got to be pretty good. Yeah. So, and again, look, Darius was a 5-star. He was the number 2D tackle in the country. It's tough to live up to that exact billing, but I think that every cycle you find guys like this in Louisiana where you say, who are the best of the best? Give me the top 3 or 4, and let's go get them. And sometimes they are Lamar Brown and Richard Anderson, who are pretty refined, can come in and somewhat like Don McKinley play as a freshman, start as a sophomore, and then you've got guys that you want to develop. And I think that's something that with McKinley, a guy like Kyle Williams is probably pretty eager to do, because as a new coach, you get to mold him from clay and kind of what you vision him as his role at LSU.
Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger. Shea, I want to ask for updates on a couple other guys that we've been following, Darius Gray and Jace Matthews, but we'll get to that in a second. One of the things that had Twitter going at Twitter this weekend is that Blaine Bradford, when Deuce Gerald's committed, shared that commitment graphic on his Instagram story. I tend to try to not make too much out of things like this, but it started a lot of the conversation about could LSU potentially be in the flip mode for Blaine Bradford. Do you have any reaction or any update there on where things stand?
I would encourage you to continue your efforts, however futile they might be, to try not to read into what 16 and 17-year-olds do on social media. But yes, obviously it doesn't hurt when, all the other guys in the class and that he knows, from playing against them, or like Lamar Brown. He and Lamar Brown, how long? We've talked about him since they were in 9th grade. Like, they know each other well as Baton Rouge kids. So to have kind of a public push where LSU fans then get in there and support doesn't hurt. I think you could look at Sam Petito being hired from Ohio State as a guy who played a role in kind of helping recruit him out of Louisiana as a Louisiana native, now being on staff at LSU, is something that doesn't hurt. But I would go back to this reality. Nothing changed from the day before Blaine Bradford committed to Ohio State in the spring to now. I mean, they have just continued to recruit him, and in the meantime, not put all their eggs in one basket. Look what they've done just with our rivals' rankings. I mean, they've had Aiden Hall committed for a while. He's been a top 10 safety, but Isaiah Washington out of Haynesville after track season, they went up and offered him. So does everybody else. He's now a top 150 overall player, no matter the position. And these guys are physical. Blaine Bradford the same. They can get in the box and play. And Jake Olson really wanted a coverage safety. Went to Alabama. A guy who wasn't being heavily recruited at the time was Dylan Purter. Now he's blown up as a commitment, and he's a top 150 player. So I think they've sort of got it figured out to where, hey, if Bradford doesn't flip, we've got 3 really good safeties that we like, but we are going to press them all the way to signing day. And I don't think it hurts that Lamar, Richard Anderson, all of these guys are staying home. I think when you look at the top 10 right now, and maybe outside of one guy that got an LSU offer even after he committed, but 8 of the 10 are committed to LSU, with Bradford being the highest ranked kid that's not. So there's always going to kind of be that public, not pressure, but reality that, hey, look, everyone but you is staying home for college.
All right, Shea, we got plenty of time to talk about Bradford and what may happen there as all these guys embark on their senior seasons.
I cannot believe we just made it through that conversation without you screaming.
There's time.
Okay. Do what you do.
There's time. Plenty of time. And I'll gladly scream it whenever he flips, when he flips. All right, Darius Gray and Jace Matthews, 2 guys who talked a ton about. Any updates on either?
Yes. Look, I got a text from a source after they popped Deuce Gerald's, which win over a number of teams, but Oregon is a notable win. In the you're going up. A lot of people just say it's like whatever school versus Phil Knight, and if it's coming down to that, it's how often do you win? And LSU's got some wins over Oregon now. When you look forward, like I said, I got a message not 5 minutes after Deuce went public that said all eyes on Jace Matthews now. So he commits on Friday. He is the number 2 receiver on Rivals right now. The number 1 receiver is Tristan Keys, who is already committed to LSU. So can you add to that class with a guy like Jace Matthews? They're going up against Auburn, A&M, Ole Miss there as an in-state team. He's a Mississippi kid, but border state who most people like Deuce Gerald's feel will probably pick between LSU Auburn. Like Deuce was LSU Oregon. This could be LSU Auburn. And then the same case for Darius Gray, who is a 5-star, who is the number 1 interior O-lineman. I believe he's the highest ranked uncommitted 5-star left out there. He'll commit on the 22nd. And that one he's from Virginia, but South Carolina would be the kind of the local school that has been on him a long time. And then LSU is the one out-of-state school that clearly has made the biggest splash with him. So those are the two that, at least in the month of August, remember, we're still in a dead period here where coaches and recruits can't be on campus or on the road or any of that. So these are phone calls and Zooms and everything like that. But two more big dominoes will drop before the season gets here.
Shea Dixon, on 3, the Bengal Tiger. Get him on Twitter at Shea Dixon. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Matt.
Kelly!
Oh, God.
There. It's after further review. We're brought to you by Shawville's Tire and Auto Service. Shawville'sTire.com, Shawville'sTire.com. With locations all over South Louisiana. Find the location nearest you at Shawville'sTire.com. Look, if you got issues with your tires, look, Eric actually sent me a text earlier today from work. It was a screen grab of the dash on her vehicle that the tire pressure is low. Chances are she just needs some air in the tire, so I'll go do that tonight. But if there is an issue, we'll bring it into Shawville's. Remember, they always repair your tires for free just because they always say it's the right thing to do. And don't miss out. There's great deals always. You get $180 back on select Bridgestone tires now through September the 1st. You could see more at Shawville'sTire.com. Hit the promotions tab, and you get all of the info on all of their great offers at Shawville'sTire.com, Shawville'sTire.com. Remember, they'll sell you name brand tires at wholesale prices, and they'll keep you coming back year after year after year because they're going to treat you like family. Shawville's, where we keep you rolling. All right, thanks to Shea Dixon for joining us. We appreciate that. In about 45 minutes from right now, Fletcher Mackel from WDSU will jump aboard. He's been at Saints camp. We'll see what Fletcher has been seeing. See, maybe get an update on some of his injuries. Devin Neal went down with an injury today. And obviously, the last time we talked to Fletcher was at the Mackel Golf Tournament, and he gave us an update on Foster Morrow and Taysom Hill. See if he has an update on either of those guys as well. We'll do that coming up here in about 45 minutes. And former Tiger great Eddie Kennison, straight up hour 3, 5 o'clock Central Time. We'll look forward to having Eddie on with us a little bit later. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break, y'all. Tuesday shows powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. We'll go around the SEC, and we have updated SEC championship odds. You'll hear that next on AFR.
After further review.
If you got pain, maybe you're trying to get through an injury and it's just slow. Because we get older, the healing process just takes a little longer. Something that could accelerate that healing process, get you feeling good again, BPC 157. If you're not familiar, look it up. Body Protection Compound 157, BPC 157. It's available at Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Matt, I thought that was ED. Yes, they do ED. But they do so much more. This is all about helping you feel great and living your optimal life. You want more energy? You want to actually reduce your biological age from a cellular level? NAD plus therapy is a great option. And remember, when it comes to recovery from injuries or a different pain that you deal with, BPC 157, do your research. Go have a consultation with Gabe. Let him explain. See if it's a good thing for you. Work out a plan. At Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, they have the lowest prices and never any contracts. YourGoodwood.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Plowing these fields in the hot summer sun. Over by the gate, Lordy, here she comes with a basket full of chicken and a big cold jug of sweet tea.
Got updated SEC championship odds. Texas still the favorite at plus 250. Georgia plus 300, Alabama next at plus 475, then LSU at plus 750. Then you get a big drop-off for A&M at plus 1,400. Kind of sounds like the odds makers believe it's those four, right? It's Texas, Georgia, Alabama, LSU. And as we often say, you can't win it if you don't get to the game. So you have to finish in the top two in the SEC standings to get into the game to be able to get there and to win it. So, I look at a team like A&M, and, I think A&M is probably maybe the sleeper team in the conference this year. And you can laugh, but they returned 16 starters, 4 starters on their offensive line. They replaced their right tackle, but everybody else is back. 3 really good running backs, including former 5-star Reuben Owens. Their quarterback, Marcel Reed, is a running threat as well. All that to say, I think when you run the ball and you play defense, that travels. Now, they have a really, really brutal road schedule this year. And if there's a reason to bet against Texas A&M, it's the road schedule. If you haven't taken a gander at what the Ags have there, the Milkmen, they open up against UTSA, and then after that, they play Utah State. Week 3, they're at Notre Dame. So their non-conference P5 is a true road game, just like LSU plays at Clemson, except they get UTSA and Utah State first. LSU got to do it week 1. After Notre Dame, they get an open date. Then they're home against Auburn, home against Mississippi State, home against Florida. So boom, 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 3 straight home games. But when you play a slate like that, it means you're going to have a similar stretch on the road. So after that October the 11th game at home against Florida, they go at Arkansas, at LSU, open date, at Missouri, South Carolina, Samford, at Texas. So you're talking about a road schedule that includes at Notre Dame, at LSU, at Texas, and that at LSU is the middle of a 3-game road swinging conference. Like A&M is going to go from October the 11th at home against Florida to not playing at Kyle Field again until November the 15th against South Carolina. They're going to go from October the 11th to November 15th without playing a home game. So it's just they've got to be good on the road. And the ability to run the football and play defense, as they say, usually travels. So they're an interesting team. If they can navigate this treacherous road schedule and hold serve at home, A&M could be the sleeper team there. I get it. Texas 8-4, and you're not wrong. Their time in the SEC since 2012. They had the Johnny Manziel year when they went 10-2, won the bowl game, went 11-2. And then the COVID year where they went 9-1 and gave Jimbo all that money. Idiots. Congratulations. You won 9 games in a fake year. Idiots. Here's $100 million, Jimbo. Idiots. Anyway. Yeah, but I think that this could be their team to do it. Fewest questions, most manageable schedule. I think few questions on A&M. Difficult road schedule is kind of the big question. So we'll see. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out. Love telling you about South Point Volkswagen, Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. Love jumping in my Volkswagen every day. All the technology, the great German engineering, the style, feel, performance of luxury, the 9 different IIHS top safety features. That's the highest safety designation that you can get for a vehicle. Basically, every Volkswagen model achieves that. So you know, like when I strap Drew into his car seat, when Erica pulls out of the driveway in the morning in her Volkswagen Atlas, I know my family's driving the safest vehicles on the road. It gives me tremendous peace of mind. You could have that same peace of mind as well. For you, for your children, if you're buying vehicles for them, just shop South Point Volkswagen. Get the style, feel, performance of luxury without the cost. And it's a lot of fun. And they're manufactured right here in the US of A at their Chattanooga, Tennessee plant. SouthPointVW.com, SouthPointVW.com, South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction? Okay, let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Florida Gators.
Running back Treyon Webb has undergone surgery to repair a rupture in his right hamstring. Yeesh. Recovery timetable is unclear as of right now. He's not at practice on Tuesday. Could be back, they think, hopefully, for their SEC opener against LSU in Baton Rouge on September the 13th. This will be the 3rd procedure for Webb in a 12-month span.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
Defensive back Boo Carter has returned to practice, spent the first few days of preseason working his way back after his summer absence. Now the defensive back in uniform. Josh Heupel said Carter still part of the team, even though he was facing disciplinary action from the offseason. He'll work through, but still on the team. Carter earned freshman All-SEC honors as a defensive back and return specialist a year ago. So he's an important part of that Tennessee team, and he's working his way back.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Quarterback snap distribution hasn't changed. That according to Ryan Grubb, who met with reporters. Status quo, all the guys getting 1s, 2s, and 3s, with the exception of Ty Simpson. He's the only guy who's working just with the 1s and 2s, not taking reps with the 3s. Tide will scrimmage this Saturday with one more scrimmage the following Saturday. Ty Simpson is, of course, the perceived front-runner for the starting quarterback job to replace Jalen Milroe.
Texas A&M!
And A&M football plans to take advantage of the unlimited on-field coach rule for the 2025 season. The Aggies have 14 assistants on staff with on-field titles and responsibilities right now. The D1 Council allowed for the increase last June, removed the cap of the 11 on-field coaches. So basically, all of the analysts and sports staff personnel can coach on the field, and Texas A&M certainly is doing that. All right, there you have it. That is around the SEC. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Our Tuesday shows are powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Just visit sunequip.com, sunequip.com for Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. It is interesting, that story about A&M with the on-field assistants, because that feels like an outlier, but that's actually the norm. Like, you go out to LSU practice, and one of the things that is most obvious to me now going out to practice, and I think I said this earlier, when we went for day 1 last week, I was kind of doing the math in my head. This is my 19th fall camp that I've covered out at LSU. So I've been doing this for a good while now, and I've seen Les and Ed and now Brian Kelly, so 3 different coaches and their staffs and how they handle things. And I'll tell you, the most notable difference going to practice now as opposed, well, aside from the fact that Les was just, it was just these 3-hour marathon practices and 2-a-days, and he was just trying the big cat drill and just trying to grind everybody into dust. But the biggest difference is the on-field assistants. Like, when you watch special teams, like Aman Anand, the analyst that they brought in from Grambling, like, he's coaching special teams. Like, he's the special teams coordinator. Out there at practice, on field, running all the special teams drills. Like, that's his job. You go watch the quarterbacks. Well, Joe Sloan's there, but so is Tim Rattay. Like, he's there coaching the quarterbacks with Joe Sloan. I mean, you just, every position coach has an assistant, a GA, an analyst, somebody there working with them with their position group. So there is just no shortage of that now. Like there is just no such thing anymore as a hard cap of like the 10 on field, like the head coach and the 10 on field assistants. It's just like anybody can go out on the field and coach. And it should be that way. Why not? If you have the resource and can do it, do it. And the Habs have pushed forward over the years. They got their way, and I think it's to the betterment of all the players. Are going to get better instruction. So, yeah, A&M's doing it, but so is LSU, and so is everybody else. All right, it's after further review. Saints have released an official depth chart before they hit the road or the air to take on the Chargers. I want to talk about that and an injury to one of the Saints draft picks who's apparently going to be out for a little while. We'll talk about that when we come back at AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. Get by any of their 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. You know where they are. Sigourney Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Listen, it's that time of year where, of course, because it's 95 degrees, we're all spending time in our outdoor area, maybe by the pool if you have it, and you're out there. And maybe when the sun goes down at night, gets a little cooler, maybe you're lucky, get a little breeze, fire up the barbecue pit, and you got mosquitoes. If you want to stop doing that, go to Clegg's. They've got the Aeon mosquito barrier. I'm telling you, if you got mosquitoes, this is the cheapest, most effective way to knock them out. It's a tube the size of a track baton. Take the top off. It's got granules in it. Fill it up with water till the fill line. Put the cap back on. Shake it. Hang it on your property line. You're done with mosquitoes 90 days at a time. I don't know how it works. I just know that it does. You can find it at Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, Ice Cubes.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Luba Workers Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our
after further review. Powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
She ain't a fooling me. She thinks my tractor's sexy.
Couple just on the medical side. Devin Neal, he's got a hamstring, so he'll be probably a couple weeks here. Moochie Dixon, he had a shoulder, so he's just kind of day-to-day. And then Jawan stayed day, but he'll be fine. He should be good to go. Those were the three guys that kind of outside of the ones that already have pre-existing things.
That's Kellen Moore after practice on Tuesday, and it's unfortunate about Devin Neal. Of course, Devin Neal, the Saints' 6th-round draft pick out of Kansas, the all-time rushing leader in Kansas history, and a guy maybe who is a step slow and but for being a step slow against the clock. Might have been a much higher draft pick considering his productivity in college. But hamstring injury, and that's unfortunate. He'll miss a couple of weeks. And it's just a time where you can ill afford to do that because now you're getting into the preseason action, and because there's only 3 preseason games now as opposed to 4, and that's a time where guys will tend to maybe break a tie with a performance in a preseason game after putting on in camp practices. We know now Devin Neal's going to miss the preseason game against the Chargers and very likely the second preseason game as well. So we'll see if he's back in time for the third one. And when you look at that running back room with Kamara and Kendre Miller and Clyde Edwards-Helaire and then Devin Neal in there as well, and a guy like Cam Akers, another veteran who's hanging around vying for starting a job, it's tough. Because even today, Kellen Moore was asked like how many running backs he wants to keep. Like, here was the answer.
Yeah, most of the time it's 3 or 4 in the NFL roster when you're talking about a 53-man roster, and then 1 or 2 on practice squad. And so, really we'll see how it all plays out.
So if it's 3 or 4 and then a couple of more maybe on the practice squad, that could be potentially where Devin Neal is eyeing a spot is on the practice squad. If you cut him and you're able to keep him. But if you look at the unofficial depth chart, that the Saints put out there, there's a lot still to be determined. But when you look at how they listed running back on this depth chart, it was there. It is. Sorry, it was Kamara, Kendre Miller, Cam Akers 3, then Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Velus Jones, Devin Neal, and Marcus Yarns. That's the order. And Kamara is the obvious one, and I think although he struggled, it's also, I think, a pretty natural thought that Kendre Miller would be number 2 because of the investment, the draft capital investment you have in him, even if it was the previous coaching staff. And so then you're looking at the third spot. It feels like it's one of the 2 veterans with Cam Akers or Clyde Edwards-Helaire, unless if someone like Devin Neal or Velus Jones or Marcus Yarns could go out there, pop, and win a job. I mean, we've seen that in the past. Someone like Thomas Jones, I remember, had a great preseason game against the Ravens and won himself a roster spot as a result in the past. So that can happen, but that opportunity now is gone for Devin Neal. It's unfortunate because, listen, at times throughout this camp, Kellen Moore has praised the job Devin Neal has done, especially early in camp.
Yeah, no, Devin's done an awesome job. Protection's been a huge thing. I think just continue to reinforce, like, this guy in protection is really, really good, and that's a huge thing for us. It's a really, really important aspect of playing running back. His ability to feel in the run game, and then his ability to make some plays in the pass game. He caught a choice route out of the backfield today in a team setting, and so, we feel really good with where he's heading.
So we know, so you felt good about it, but, again, this is a guy that this staff drafted, so they're high on him. But he's going to miss a key opportunity. And so when you look at the way that the depth chart was laid out, Devin Neal was already 5th on this depth chart. So now you go into this preseason game with Devin Neal not there. That means someone else gets those opportunities. The other thing that Kellen Moore said today, they were kind of asked him, has it been difficult to evaluate these running backs so far?
Yeah, the volume's a little bit tricky just because we have probably more than you normally would coming into a camp, but they're all worthy. There's not one guy in there that can't make our 53. They're all really good players. And then, the tackling component is real, and that's what you're most excited about with those guys in preseason.
So you've got 7 running backs. You heard him say typically keep 3, maybe 4 on your active roster and 2 on the practice squad. So that's 5, maybe 6 that will have an opportunity to stay with the team, and someone's going to be the odd man out. right now, Marcus Yarns is at that spot, one ahead of Devin Neal, but Neal's going to be out a couple of weeks. So, look, a 6th-round draft pick isn't assured of anything. But they liked him enough to pick him and use a draft pick on him, and that would seemingly give him an edge over someone like Marcus Yarns, but not if you're not healthy and can't be on the field. So, disappointing for Devin Neal, but we'll watch that here over the next couple of weeks when he can get back out on the field. All right, it's After Further Review brought to you by Evamore, EVAMOR, Evamore.com, Evamore.com. Always got my bottle of Evamore. Listen, I was out of practice today for LSU. 2 hours out in 100-degree heat. I'm not even wearing pads running around, but just being out there, you could feel it, man. How much you sweat, how much you lose fluid. It's so important to stay hydrated. And hydration is such an important part of overall health as well. Remember, there's this weird summer cold going around. A lot of people are like, hydration is a key part of health. So if you're feeling under the weather, stay hydrated. Drink Evamore. I always grab a 64-ounce bottle. I usually drink 2 of these a day, especially during the summertime. So get yours. Better form of hydration. It's natural artesian water. It's a Louisiana product. EVAMOR. Evamore.com. Evamore.com. Available online or at great local retailers. Drink Evamore. EVAMOR. Evamore.com. Okay, y'all. We'll put a button here on hour number 1. When we come back, Fletcher Mackel in 20 minutes. We'll talk some Saints. Eddie Kennison's here in hour 3. When we come back, I want to revisit something that we touched on briefly yesterday, but I want to do a little bit deeper dive. I want to talk about Jawan Johnson and what his role is going to be on this LSU team, because I think I don't think it's as cut and dried as saying, oh, he's the 4th quarterback and he'll play some mop-up duty against Southeastern and Louisiana Tech and they'll redshirt him. I don't think it's that cut and dried at all. And I think he could be a fascinating wild card in this offense, which we'll talk about. So I'm going to delve into that when we have some time. We'll do it when we come back right after SportsCenter here on AFR.
AFR.
Our Tuesday shows are powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana, and so many farmers who drive John Deere tractors and trust John Deere farm equipment. They also know First South Farm Credit, because First South Farm Credit has helped Louisianians buy land for more than 100 years. They can also help you finance your farm equipment. But again, if you're a farmer in Louisiana, you know all about First South Farm Credit, because since 1916, they've done one thing. They help Louisianians buy land. So you need 1,000 acres for agriculture, they got you. But if you're not a farmer, like many of us aren't, and you're interested in buying land, there are benefits in dealing with a land lender as opposed to whoever your typical lender might be. They know the nuance at First South Farm Credit of what goes into buying and financing land. So if you're thinking about 100 acres to build your family's dream home or that hunting property, even outside of the state of Louisiana, First South Farm Credit should be your first call. Go to firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment. Dave's back on. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
River Parish Contractors has immediate openings for structural steel shop fabricators. Call or text Big Jake today at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on employment. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website. LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net. Powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
At Luba Workers Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news, the NFL has suspended Vikings receiver Jordan Addison the first 3 games of the season for violating the substance abuse policy connected to a 2024 DUI citation. Browns rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders expected to start Friday's preseason opener versus the Panthers. Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel nursing injuries. Joe Flacco won't play. ESPN NFL analyst Marcus Spears.
This is a vital situation that Shedeur has and almost an opportunity for him to move up in that depth chart just by default based on the performance in a Week 1 preseason game.
The newly signed Tyler Huntley will likely relieve Sanders on Friday night. Rams running back Kyren Williams signed a 3-year, $33 million extension, $23 million guaranteed. Quarterback Teddy Bridgewater signed with the Buccaneers. He'll compete to back up starter Baker Mayfield. Baseball, Brewers outfielder Jackson Chourio out an additional 2 to 4 weeks because of a strained right hamstring. Yankees two-time AL MVP Aaron Judge set to return from a flexor strain in his right elbow tonight against the Rangers.
Your summer drink is here. Twisted Tea is a smooth, refreshing, hard iced tea with 5% alcohol, making it the perfect drink to take any day this summer to the next level. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's rock! Go!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt. Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Music. And Mr. Toby Tom Play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Eddie Kennison in 1 hour. Fletcher Mackel talking Saints in 15 minutes. The Hoodats are taking off after today's practice out to L.A. Joint practices with the Chargers, and then they'll play Sunday in their first preseason game against the Bolts. So a lot to do here, and glad to have you hanging out with us. When Brian Kelly met with reporters after Monday's practice, he was asked about Jawan Johnson. And this has been a pretty familiar conversation about Jawan Johnson because he has been a very unfamiliar role. Been in a very unfamiliar role. A very quick catch-up for those who aren't familiar. So Jawan Johnson went to LCA, Lafayette Christian. Great high school program in Louisiana. He left after his 4 years as the all-time leader in Louisiana high school football history in yards and touchdowns. He amassed over 14,000 yards and 171 touchdowns. Let that sink in. Dude scored over 40 touchdowns a year in high school, starting with his freshman year. That's insane. When the ball's in his hands, he knows what to do. Really good athlete. Comes to LSU, he's playing defensive back. John Emery gets hurt after the USC game last week. Trey Holly still suspended. They move him to running back. He's so talented, his first collegiate game ever, they put him in the game against Nichols. He catches 3 passes, including a touchdown. Like, dude is really good with the ball in his hands, knows what to do. Going to this offseason, Ricky Collins, A.J. Swan transfer, Bryce Underwood defects to Michigan. You bring in Michael Van Buren, but you're short on numbers. You got Nuss, Hurley, Van Buren, that's it. So they move Jawan Johnson back to quarterback in spring. And in spring, and right now, when they go individual, Jawan Johnson's playing quarterback. When you break up by position group, he's with the quarterbacks, doing all the things the quarterbacks are doing. But when they go team period, he ain't playing quarterback. He's in there as a running back. He's in there as a wildcat quarterback. He's in there as a receiver. Like, he's back to being Jawan Johnson. Well, it's fascinating because Brian Kelly was asked Monday, like, what's going on with Jawan and what do you do? Because we heard he's moving to quarterback, but he's out there playing running back. They're giving him handoffs. They're direct snapping it to him. Like, with the ones, by the way. With the ones. Clearly, they're integrating him into what they're doing offensively, but it's not as a quarterback. So what's going on?
Well, he's given everything we've asked him, probably more. He's a special kid. He'll do anything. We got him working at quarterback right now, wide receiver, running back. I think when it comes to making a decision on Jawan, it's how far do we go this year with him? Because we didn't redshirt him last year. And I want to make sure that his time is valuable and impactful. So whatever happens with Jawan, he's going to play 4 games. Question is whether he plays 5. And that will be dictated as he performs and as the offense kind of works around him.
Okay. You may hear that and go, oh, okay, well, he's going to play against Louisiana Tech and Southeastern and Western Kentucky, like maybe Vanderbilt or something. And if they get in a spot and they got to play him another game, they will and burn the red shirt. And then he'll play in the bowl game because you can. Isn't that what West Weeks did last year? Played and they got hurt. And they're like, I think we're going to be able to red shirts if we can hold out. So Devon Keys played late in the season. And they were able to play West against Oklahoma then in the bowl game. And he kept his red shirt. Now he's back for 5th year. Got it. I don't think that's what Brian Kelly means. Did you hear the end of that soundbite? Can you play the end of that soundbite again, Muse, where he talked about, like, that depends on the offense and all that sort of stuff and, like, how he fits in. Can you play that part of it, please?
And that will be dictated as he performs and as the offense kind of works around him.
As the offense works around him. Let me explain what I think that means. I'll give you a very specific example. If you went out to the spring scrimmage, the spring game, right? They ran a red zone period. And in the red zone period, Nussmeier is in the shotgun. Jawan Johnson's in the backfield with him. Nuss motions out to the left. They direct snap to Jawan Johnson. He scores. I look at that and go, I think Jawan Johnson's going to play in a red zone package against Clemson. And if it's successful, that may be a very common thing. Remember, like, I'm gonna give you an example, okay? And then don't get too caught up in what the name I'm about to mention to you. I'm just giving you an example. 2006 Tim Tebow. Chris Leak was the starting quarterback, but Tebow was such a good asset in the red zone that he was in there. I'm not saying Jawan Johnson, they're going to direct snap and he's going to plow through guys and run because he's 240 pounds and a wrecking ball. That's not what I'm saying. But if he's another guy in the red zone who knows what to do with the ball in his hands that defenses have to account for, and he becomes that type of versatile athlete, maybe he becomes that. Maybe not. That's what Brian Kelly's saying. It depends on what he means to our offense in those situations. Like, Tim Tebow in 2006 only carried the ball 79 times. He only threw 32 passes, but he accounted for 11 touchdowns. Like, he was integral in what they did in red zone situations. And let me remind you of one of LSU's most glaring weaknesses a year ago. And we should have known from literally the first possession of the season. Do you remember the first possession of the season? I do. I was there. What do they call it? Allegiant. I was there at Allegiant in Vegas. LSU put together a 13-play drive. They ate up 7 minutes and 14 seconds off the clock, drove 74 yards right up SC's donkey. And they got down to 1st and goal at the 8. Incomplete pass, complete to Kyle Parker down to the 3, and they went for it on 4th and goal from the 3, and Nush tried to throw to C.J. Daniels, and it was incomplete. Y'all, from the first possession of the season last year, LSU had red zone problems. LSU in 2024 was 74th in America in red zone efficiency. LSU only scored on 83% of their trips to the red zone. You want that number to be 100% with 75% touchdowns, 25% field goals. That's what you want it to be. Like, for example, the leader in the country of the scoring percentage was Old Dominion. They scored on 95% of their drives, and 75% were touchdowns. Like, that's what you want it to be. LSU scored on only 83%, and touchdowns, they were at 56% touchdowns, which was 94th in America. When LSU got into the red zone, they stalled. They couldn't get. Think back to the Florida game. Do you remember the slant to C.J. Daniels where he caught it and scored and they called it a legal pick play? I mean, if that touchdown stands, LSU probably wins that Florida game. All that to say, they've got to fix the red zone. One of my big takeaways so far is LSU's going to run the ball. And it may be unconventional. They're going to run the ball because they have to. It may not be a conventional running game with Caden Durham. I think that's going to be a huge part of it. But we're seeing Xavion Thomas line up in the backfield. We're seeing direct snaps to Jawan Johnson. We're seeing Thomas and Aaron Anderson when he's been out there on jet sweeps. Like, they are getting creative with how they're going to run the ball because they have to run the ball. Because they were 104th in America a year ago, and your inability to run the ball, especially in the red zone, cost you over and over again. From the opening drive of the season to that situation I just mentioned against Florida, you got to fix it. You've got to be able to convert in the red zone. And if Jawan Johnson helps you do that, then he becomes too valuable of an asset to sit on the bench. So Brian Kelly said maybe he'll play 4. Maybe those 4 are at Clemson, at Ole Miss, at Alabama, at Oklahoma. Maybe it's those 4 really big road games where you may need that wrinkle that's going to help you win. And he may be it. Maybe not. Maybe they put him on the field against Clemson and he just gets overrun and they never go back to it. Maybe. Or maybe he's the X factor, if nothing else, is a decoy, a gadget, another change of pace option in the red zone that helps them fix these atrocious numbers from a year ago where LSU was 94th in the country in touchdown percentage in the red zone on only 56% of their possessions. You got to fix your red zone issues. And he may be part of the ingredients that fixes that. That's my read on what Brian Kelly was saying right there. So, it would be great. It would be great if you could preserve a year of eligibility for Jawan Johnson. You don't need him because you got 6'7" Trey Green and all these other shiny toys in the red zone and you just run roughshod over people. That would be awesome. Or maybe you need another wrinkle. And if he helps you do that and get to a championship, then it's worth the extra year of eligibility. It's worth giving up that year of eligibility. But you won't know until you get into a game week and see what that looks like. But I will bet my bottom dollar, week 1 when they play Clemson, 8 will be on the field against Clemson. I don't think when Brian Kelly's saying 4 games, he's going, oh, well, Southeastern and Tech and Western Kentucky and maybe Vandy and we'll see, whatever. No. I think 8's on the field against Clemson in a significant spot. And if he delivers, you get another opportunity and another and another. And then maybe it just becomes something that they have to go to. going to watch that one. That's going to be fascinating. It's going to be a fascinating test case to see what they do with Jawan Johnson this year. All right, it's After Further Review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Let's talk some Saints. Fletcher Mackel next.
AFR.
Get Gordon, get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. You know what to do. Do what injured people in our state have done for more than 30 years. Get Gordon and get it done. All the social media handles at Get Gordon, at Get Gordon. Go to at Get Gordon. I love what Gordon does on social. He's really taken a lot of the opportunity on social to give legal advice, and it's free. So, for example, there's a video up right now about the biggest mistake that he sees clients make right after an accident. Go follow Gordon on social. Like, there's a lot of great content from the G team and things like that, but there's so many other ways you can educate yourself on legal matters for free. Check it out at Get Gordon on all the social media platforms, at Get Gordon, or go to getgordon.com. Getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parrishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs. From your hometown, parrishbuilt.com.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment.
After Further Review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
She thinks my tractor's sexy.
Overall, transition practice going in from the scrimmage right into this. So again, I think it's great for our guys. They have to get used to this. You're a little bit sore still coming out of the Sunday scrimmage, and thought we had some good work. There's a lot of detail to go into it.
Good opportunity in Saints training camp right now to step back and assess as the team hits the road now to LA for some joint practices with the Chargers, and then, of course, the first preseason game. Fletcher Mackel, WDSU, good enough to join us for a couple of minutes. Hey, man, how are you?
I'm good, Matt. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Our pleasure. Give me an assessment so far to this point in camp. Better than you thought? Worse than you thought? What's the 10,000-foot view?
The 10,000-foot view is that it is amazingly positive. That is a former player with a lot of former players on his staff. Kellen Moore played in the league. Doug Nussmeier played in the league. Scott Tolzien, the quarterback's coach, played in the league. They have other coaches who played in the league. They seem to have the pulse of what the players want. So right now it's a lot of happiness. It's a lot of positivity. I have no idea if that is going to translate into wins or if they're going to be 2-15. But right now they've done some team building exercises, going bowling, going to play paintball, things like that. So it seems like Kellen Moore understands what players want and how the players want training camp to go. Now, again, Sean Payton had gladiator academies at Millsaps, and they were great, and the players hated it. These players love Kellen Moore. We'll see if it translates into success on the field.
My note, Fletcher, was contrast that to 2006.
Yeah, so I was in Millsaps in 2006, and to use the term that I just did, gladiator academy would be an understatement. This is before 2011 in the lockout when the Players Association changed how practices were conducted. And in 2006 in Jackson, Mississippi, in what felt hotter than South Louisiana, Sean Payton had 2 practices every day, fully padded for the first 2 weeks, that players that I still stay in touch with talk about is the most grueling thing they've ever been through. And Sean Payton, he took some media members to dinner when he left, and I was able to go. He still says the fact that he didn't have a heat-related, fatality, God forbid, or serious injury that first year in Jackson is still a minor miracle.
So, and that team, of course, went to the NFC Championship game. The question I have is, okay, the players like a lighter camp. I get that. Is it actually going to net a positive result? And Fletcher, positive result doesn't necessarily mean wins on the field. What do you think?
Look, I'll say this. I do think that this staff seems to have a better, grasp, I used that term before, of what the players want. They're threading the needle with understanding they have veterans that are probably on their last leg. DeMario, Cam, Alvin still has tread on the tires, but he's a guy that's in his 30s now at running back. That is not a good thing. And then you've got a lot of young players. So I think they're learning, is this the NFL? Is this how I do it? And so he's done a good job, I think, of indoctrinating the young guys and making the veterans buy in to what he wants to do and how he wants to do it. He's vanilla. Kellen Moore is vanilla. He's a wonderfully nice guy. I think he is himself, though. He doesn't have a lot of sizzle. He's not some big storyteller. He's not some cursor, yeller, screamer that is, whoa. He's not Dan Campbell, but he is himself. And I talked with Zach Wood today for a long time, who's the longtime special teams captain, the long snapper. And he goes, look, to stand in front of a room of a bunch of alphas and be able to keep the attention, you have to be yourself because people will see through inauthentic process. And he goes, Kellen, he's not a yeller and a screamer. He's not a rah-rah guy, but neither is Kyle Shanahan. There's other coaches in this league that have excelled without that. So I do think Kellen Moore is being true to himself, and it's resonating right now with the players. And look, you talked about what is success. To me, success this year may not be the playoffs, but you better have, as the Saints are in a reset, so to say, they better have some foundation pillars coming out of this season. Those 2 tackles, Banks and Fuaga, better be legit guys for the next 5 to 10 years. Kool-Aid McKinstry better be cornerback 1 after this year. You need to have potentially Tyler Shuck as your quarterback, going forward, not saying, boy, we went 2-15 and we got to restart now with Garrett Nussmeier or whoever the quarterback in the draft is going to be. I think 5, 6, 7 wins and some solid foundation pillars that can be part of a big step forward in 26 or 27. That's success for this team.
He's on Twitter at Fletcher WDSU. Give him a follow. Is there a player or position group that appears to be better right now than you thought when they opened camp?
So I think the secondary is better. Look, last year the 2 starting cornerbacks were Marshawn Lattimore, Paulson Adebo. Paulson Adebo left in free agency. Marshawn traded. Tyron,
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
okay, sorry. Tyron retired, who was one of their starting safeties. So you've got Justin Reed. He's been really great in the locker room. I think he's in the prime of his career. He's been great for this organization overall, and he's still a really good player. Kool-Aid McKinstry, and I'm sure you've had other people on that have echoed the same thing. Since off-season started, this is a guy that had a first-round grade last year coming out of Alabama. He goes early in the second round. He comes in with the foot injury. He's a backup. He never found his footing. The season goes sideways. He's a guy that looks like he could have a big leap this year. And then, you know, Quincy Riley is a fourth-round draft pick. He's had some nice moments. How to make plays in practice, but the secondary has made some plays. So I think what was a big question mark, at least it looks like in practice, it's been answered. Now, when they start playing, you know, Josh Allen in a Kyle Shanahan offense in week 2, they're certainly going to be tested. But the secondary has impressed me a little bit more than I thought they were going to.
All right, flip it around. Position group that you thought might be further along than they are right now.
Yeah, I would probably say the quarterbacks, to be honest with you. I thought one of these guys would have distanced themselves just a little bit. And don't believe everything you read on social media. Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shuck are a hell of a lot closer than the stands for either of them, you know, on social media want you to believe. Look, there was a big group out there that thought Jameis is the man. He's going to have an awesome season. And I love Jameis as a person, but all this hyperbole on social media was a bunch of BS. I've been to these practices. I like Spencer Rattler. I like Tyler Shuck. Spencer Rattler is not winning this competition, running away with it. So if anybody tells you that, that's not the case. I'm not saying he hasn't had more consistent production than Tyler Shuck, but they are not that far apart. And just remember, Tyler Shuck is the guy that Kellen Moore drafted. So if it's close, tie goes to me to Tyler Shuck. And I also think whichever young quarterback they pick, they've got to give runway to. So to me, whichever guy it is, don't think it's going to be, oh, they start week 1 and maybe they don't start week 2. Or they start the first month of the season and it's difficult and then we get a different look. I think whichever young quarterback that they start, be it Spencer Rattler or Tyler Shuck, because I think Hayner's out of the race at this point, I think they're going to get to the bye in week 11. And they're going to give them a ton of opportunity. Look, Bo Nix was terrible his first 2 games last year. His first month, he was quite unspectacular, and then it clicked for him. So even Jaden Daniels didn't come out the gate, you know, like the way he finished last season. So I think whichever young quarterback they go with, they're going to get runway. But I thought at this point in training camp, one of those guys may have pulled ahead of the other one, and they are still, while Rattler is probably a little ahead of Tyler Shuck, neither one has distanced themselves. So maybe this Sunday in the preseason game, one of them pulls ahead and we know which one will be the starter.
You looking for anything in particular with these joint practices ahead of the preseason game Sunday?
Well, there is no joint practice. That's the crazy thing.
Oh, they're just practicing in L.A.
Right. They're just going out there. So I like joint practices. That's the one thing I'm disappointed at since you used that term. I remember going out there and covering the joint practices when it was the Chargers in the St. Philip Rivers Drew Brees. That's where I think teams get a ton of great work, even more than the preseason games. The joint practices, look, a few years ago when the Saints went to Green Bay against the Packers, that was great work to practice against another team where you can script some things, where you can go unscripted. Joint practices, to me, are far more important sometimes than preseason games. So I wish the Saints were having joint practices, but I really feel like for the first time in a long time, the preseason games, especially the first couple, are going to be like inflection points and real critical junctures for a lot of these guys. Look, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is one of those guys. We know it's Alvin Kamara, but there's 5 or 6 guys behind him, and it's a jump ball for who's going to be running back 2, 3, and 4. There's, defensive line rotation that they have to figure out. There's a linebacker rotation after Werner and DeMario that they have to figure out. And then, of course, the quarterback. It's going to be some intense competition, at least from the Saints, in the preseason.
He is Fletcher Mackel, WDSU. Get him on Twitter at Fletcher WDSU. You heading out to L.A.?
Sharif is going. So Sharif Ishak, my coworker here at WDSU, who you know very well, is going out there. And funny story here, Matt. I know I'm sorry if you're trying to wrap me up
No,
here.
you're good.
Sharif is like the greatest worker ever. And we've been together now. I've been here 23 years. He's been here 12 years. So we've been together for 12 years. Sharif is so quirky. He's like, I hate going to New York. It's like, that's cool. I'll go cover the Heisman. And when the Pelicans draft Zion, and he's like, I hate going to L.A. in the traffic. He loves like Omaha and Tampa and Charlotte. And I'm like, dude, you take it. You go to those places. And then last year, I was in Paris, luckily covering the Olympics. So he went out there, and then he's like, Southern California isn't that bad. The 405 isn't as bad. So now he loves Southern California. So now it's Southern California Sharif year 2.
I love it. So good. Sharif's just the worst. You should fire him immediately. Fletcher, Mackel, thank you, man. We appreciate it.
All right, Matt. Thank you.
Be well. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. Counting down. Drew is back at school a week from today. Whenever your kiddos start, I know it's right around the bend. Make sure if you haven't done it yet, get that eye exam. We should all have our annual eye exam, especially your kiddos. None of us are exempt, but when your kiddos are starting school, man, make sure you bring your children to get their annual eye exam before they start the school year. You want to be able to see the board and see the flat screens. I don't even know what they use in school anymore, but you want to be able to make sure that they see and they get that annual eye exam. So if they need contacts, glasses, and updated prescription, you want to get that taken care of. Williamson Eye Center, WilliamsonEye.com, WilliamsonEye.com. 8 locations in Greater Baton Rouge, including down the River Parish in Lutcher. Newest locations up in St. Francisville. So if you're there in St. Francisville, you don't have to travel. That's right. You don't have to come to the Zachary location. They're there. They're in Denham as well. A couple locations in Baton Rouge, Connells, and on Bluebonnet. It's the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. That's WilliamsonEye.com. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Appreciate Fletcher for joining us. When we kind of get through this week and back into toward the end of the week a little further, I do want to give you some of what I'm going to be looking for in the Saints preseason game. Because I am a preseason game junkie. Like I am a training camp junkie. I really wish that I had the opportunity to be in New Orleans for all the camp practices, but I'm here in Baton Rouge and covering LSU camp. But when you look at it's like I say it always this way. I know not everybody's super interested in roster spot 49 to 53. I get it. Everybody wants to know who's going to be the starting quarterback or the 2 starting tackles you drafted. Are they going to play well? I mean, I get it. But you go into a game week, and every player that is active plays on Sunday. And inevitably, somebody turns an ankle or, get sick or has to come out for a play. They get their bell rung, whatever the case may be. And so everybody who's dressed on a Sunday matters. And it's like we talk about Will Clapp, why he's so integral, man, because he can play either guard spot or center. I mean, think about last year against the Eagles when Eric McCoy went down on the first drive of the game. Lucas Patrick, who's your starting left guard, had to slide over and play center the rest of the game. And it didn't go well, but you have to be able to do that. That's why all those roster spots matter. So, Nick Saldivary's on IR. His season's over. So who's going to win those roster spots on the offensive line? Obviously, it's spots, in the defensive backfield, on the D-line, are all super integral. And this is where the coaching staff, you can look at practice, but you can validate or invalidate a lot of your feelings that you see at practice with what you see in a preseason game. So I'm looking forward to it, seeing the Saints get out there on Sunday against the Chargers out in L.A. All right, it's After Further Review. Tuesday shows powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Brian Kelly met with reporters after the first full padded practice on Tuesday. We'll let you hear some more what BK had to say when we come back on AFR.
After Further Review.
If you're going to sell your house, you want someone who knows what they're doing. Doesn't that make sense? You don't just want to sign in the yard. You don't want to just sit there and hope that it sells. You want to have a real game plan, someone who understands marketing, negotiation, how to get your home sold fast and for top dollar. That is why you want Darren James. Darren has been crushing it in real estate for decades now at this point, and he's still on top. Told you recently the Wall Street Journal's top 1,000 realtors in America. He's been on that list every year since 2015. A decade straight, Darren James has been on the list of the top 1% of realtors in America. The bottom line, Darren James gets results. So call him today. It costs nothing to talk, y'all. And it could make you a ton of money on your home. 335-7666, 335-7666, 335-7666 for Darren James.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wildin'.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Businesses like yours are the soul of our community. You deserve someone who'll deliver the internet services you deserve. That's why local businesses rely on Rev Business, 90 years of building connections. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Getting a chance to get out there for an hour and a half, handle the elements, learn from it for practice 6, that's exactly what I was looking for. So, you know, again, as you talk about putting your football team together and developing your team, these are the kind of moments that, looking at it from a micro perspective, these are the days I need to develop the things that we need from our football team. So good day out there today from that perspective. Our guys are doing a great job taking care of themselves, injury-free. So all positives moving into tomorrow's 2-hour practice.
Brian Kelly after practice on Tuesday, first full padded practice for the Tigers. There were a couple of full padded, full contact tackling scrimmage 11-on-11 sessions. If you missed it, we opened the show with that today, so you can catch that on demand if you want to check that full review. Went through the entire play-by-play of that, be on demand podcast or on YouTube. Just search AFR LSU. I wanted to kind of go through the rest of my notes from Tuesday. When we first went out there, we saw some hurry up, no huddle. Just a few of the things that were Solomon Thomas has been out there with a boot. Remember, he's got a broken bone in his foot. He's going to be out a month. Brian Kelly told us he was there in a boot riding the bike. No Aaron Anderson. Still no Aaron Anderson. Kelly told us earlier in the week the hope was to get Aaron Anderson back for Wednesday's practice. No media availability at Wednesday's practice. Then they have a day off Thursday, so Friday will be the next time we're out there. We'll be able to tell you. But deep touchdown to Destin Hill from Garrett Nussmeier. Also, a deep touchdown to Trey Green, back right corner of the end zone. Michael Van Buren missed Barry and Brown on a deep ball. That just continues to be the thing with the backup quarterbacks, is just the inaccuracy has been jarring. And they're young players. I understand that. Obviously both are just second-year players. And when Jaden Daniels showed up at LSU, remember, that was the knock on Jaden Daniels coming from Arizona State, was the accuracy or the inaccuracy. And very clearly Joe Sloan worked that out of him, which is awesome. I mean, Jaden Daniels became one of the most accurate passers that we've ever seen. But that has been recurring at this point. Has been Van Buren and Hurley, the inaccuracy at times. Matter of fact, after practice, Kelly did talk about the two backups, Van Buren and Hurley.
I think it's the details. They're talented players. Both of them can play in the SEC, but talent is just one thing, right? You've got to be able to not have those moments where the ball's on the ground or, you throw a pick six. I just want them to eliminate the big mistakes. Let them be athletes. Let them be who they are. They're not the same quarterback. They have different kind of traits. But, what can you do? Again, I come back to this model of consistency is about, can you stay laser focused every single snap throughout the entire practice? And so that's really what I'm trying to get out of both those guys. And they've had their moments. We need to get it to a point where it's much more consistent.
The laser focus through every single rep is something you alluded to earlier, and there were a couple of points in this practice where that kind of showed its head. Donovan Green, the Texas A&M transfer, while they were running some individual drills, he ran a really nice out route about 15 yards, and us put it right on him. He dropped it. Joe Sloan yelled across the field, "Lack of urgency is a bleeping killer." And he just lost his concentration. On that same drill, Teron Francis dropped the deep ball, hit him in the hand, just bobbled it, dropped it. I mean, that's what Brian Kelly's talking about with the young players, the lack of laser focus on every single rep. And some of that is just progress. I mean, I don't expect those guys to play a major role on this team. They did the wide receiver defensive back drill. It's a one-on-one drill. They also did that same drill in a 3-on-3 setting, 3 receivers, 3 defensive backs. A couple of the notes from the wide receiver defensive back drill. Maybe the most important thing that I've seen when they run that drill is they are picking up DJ Pickett and just throwing him into the deep end of the pool. Like, there is no zero entry and gradually wade your way into this thing. They're just like, here you go, kid, figure it out. Because every time they run this drill, he's going against Chris Hilton. And y'all, Chris Hilton is a really good football player. I'm stating the obvious and oversimplifying it. But I told you last year Chris Hilton was the best receiver in fall camp. And we talked about him all season, and people asked a lot, why do you keep talking about Chris Hilton? And then he got back for those final 3 games, and he scored in each of those 3 games, and you go, okay, I get why you're talking about Chris Hilton. Because he's that good when he's healthy. And they are making DJ Pickett's not running against Teron Francis. He's not running against Kylan Billiot, Jelani Watkins. DJ Pickett isn't running out there against the young dudes. DJ Pickett is running every rep of that drill against Chris Hilton. And I haven't seen him win one yet. Not to say he hasn't won one, but it's pitch and catch with Nuss and Hilton. And that's not to say Pickett's doing badly. It's just to say Chris Hilton is awesome. And they know they are going to need DJ Pickett. And so it's like, brother, you are going to see one of him. Like, every SEC team has one of him. Everybody has a best guy. And that's what you're going to go against for the next 3 years at LSU and then in the NFL. So get used to it. And they had 2 reps against each other today, and Chris Hilton won them both. So it'll be interesting to continue to watch Pickett's progress there. Trey Green had a beautiful double move against Jordan Gilbert. Double move, created about 5 yards of separation, turned up and scored. Kyle Parker had a beautiful grab, a toe tap on Mansour Delane on the sideline. Let's see, Jelani Watkins, the officials were at practice. He caught a ball through pass interference. They flagged Deshaun Spears with PI, and Jelani Watkins still made the play. Berrien Brown made a beautiful play on a quick slant against Jakeem Jackson. Nick Anderson had a big win against Michael Turner. Let's see. I'm looking at my other notes here. Might be all as far as the significance from that. Oh, there was a Bauer Sharp made a one-handed catch against A.J. Halsey. Halsey and Tamarcus Cooley continue to be just really impressive at the safety spot, and everything is rotating pretty fluidly when they go 7-on-7 or 11-on-11 with who's with the ones and the twos. But I will maintain this, that I'll be fall over stunned if A.J. Halsey isn't starting whenever they play Clemson. It's pretty clear he's just playing at a different level of physicality in the run game, his nose for the football in the pass game. He had a really nice he had an interception today in A.J. Halsey had an interception today in when they were doing a half lines drill. So he's been outstanding. A.J. Halsey has. And as a matter of fact, Kelly was asked what they were looking for when they added Cooley and Halsey. Cooley was here in the spring. Remember, they added him in the December portal window, but they didn't add A.J. Halsey until the spring portal window. So after spring ball. So this is like the 6th practice A.J. Halsey has ever had at LSU, and he already is standing out.
Game experience and football knowledge. Those are the two things, and we didn't move off of those, and everybody that we evaluated, it was if they don't have those two criteria, we can't even begin this process. So they have to have snaps, real live snaps, and they have to be smart football players. We're not going to go in here and teach you the nuances of the game. We're past that. And they both have those qualities, and they have athletic ability. So what are we getting? Smart, savvy, physical players that have played a lot of college football.
A.J. Halsey, when Brian Kelly talked about experience, the first word he said, just play like the first word again, what they were looking for.
Game experience.
Game experience. A.J. Halsey has played in 36 games with 33 starts. That's game experience. It's very obvious. You go, oh, yeah, 13 knows what he's doing. He's been out here for 6 days and is already better than everybody out there. One other interesting thing, we did get to watch them during a special teams portion. They were running punt block. The 3 rushers on punt block were Jaden Breaker, A.J. Halsey, and Trey'Dez Green. They had Trey'Dez lined up as the left end. And it makes sense, right? Like, hey, man, quick first step, get around the end and just extend. And you're kind of already at the football. That was pretty cool to see. I don't know if we'll see it in the game, but that was interesting to see in any event. I did watch the one-on-one pass rush drills again, and I'll reiterate, the offensive line wins plenty of these. Tyree Adams won both of his reps against Jack Pyburn, and Pyburn is awesome. When they went 11-on-11, Pyburn had a TFL and a sack. DJ Chester held off a bull rush on 1 rep against Ahmad Bro, then Bro beat him on the next rep. Braylon Moore against Dom McKinley, they split a pair of reps. Josh Thompson lost a pair of reps to against Bernard Gooden, who, it's God bless. Josh Thompson is a good player. Like, he is a good player. And he wins plenty. He just can't beat Bernard Gooden. It's just one of those things where it's like, that's just a bad matchup for him. And Bernard Gooden's going to be a bad matchup for a lot of guys. Bernard Gooden came up with a 2-yard TFL in the 11-on-11 period. He's a menace. And Josh Thompson's Thompson's a very good player. He just had trouble with Bernard Gooden. Weston Davis split his reps with against Patrick Payton. So, man, they got good talent on offense. They just got to figure out how to get the 5 to play as 1. Nuss had a beautiful ball on the sideline to Bauer Sharp, who beat Ashton Stamps in 7-on-7. Nice pass breakup by West Weeks guarding Trey'Dez Green. Nice pass breakup by Stamps on Berrien Brown. So there was a lot to like, y'all. I mean, there was so much to like. One other thing, Harlem Berry. And I don't know that we should read too much into this, and I did ask Brian Kelly about it after practice. Harlem Berry was the second running back up. So when they rotated with the ones, Durham was first, Harlem Berry was second. And so then Caleb Jackson and JT Lindsay went with the 2s. It's the first time we've seen that. I did ask Brian Kelly about Harlem Berry after practice.
We all know his traits, right? Very smooth. He's got elite speed, catches the ball well. But there's a transition from high school to college. You know, the tackling is different. The physicality is a little bit different. So Caleb is a difficult guy. You know, he ran through a couple of outside zone plays today where the first tackler, he just kind of shedded. Harlem is getting used to that. So this is just a process for him and for us. We really like him. We think he's going to have to play for us this year. There's a bit of a transition there in terms of learning the physicality that comes with playing here.
Yeah, so I don't think Barry going second is any indication of Caleb Jackson. I think they're just trying to get him up to speed in some of those valuable reps. So Tigers' 6th practice of fall camp in the books. They will practice on Wednesday, day 7. No media availability. Then they're off Thursday. They'll be back out there Friday for day 8 with media availability, and they scrimmage on Saturday, day 9. All right, it's After Further Review. We'll wrap up hour number 2 next.
After Further Review.
Action Industries is a proud partner of LSU Athletics. Action, INC.com. If you need an industrial contractor, Action Industries is who you need to call. It is turnaround season, y'all, and Action Industries has the Advanced Turnaround Group. That's a subsidiary of Action Industries. So same great company. It's just their turnaround division. Action Industries, the Advanced Turnaround Group. And they offer so many things like 24-hour assistance, specialty welding. And their experts have an exemplary safety record. They do quality work, which is why they get hired over and over and over again. So you're going to have a great result. It's Action Industries. Again, the website is Action, INC.com, is an Action Industries Incorporated. Action, INC.com. It's for the Advanced Turnaround Group. You want to see a list of all the services they offer? Go to the website there for Action Industries. Action Industries, a proud partner of LSU Athletics. Action Industries, innovation in action.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
River Parish Contractors has immediate openings for structural steel shop fabricators. Call or text Big Jake today at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on employment. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and...
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
She thinks my tractor's sexy.
Wrapping up hour number 2, Eddie Kennison coming up in about 10 minutes from right now. We'll talk to the former Tiger receiver great about this receiver group and the LSU offense. Getting set to put a show off from the dock here in 2025 behind Garrett Nussmeier, Joe Sloan, and the lot. Right now, Muso, Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
Man, we have been waiting for this one.
Let's go.
For a long time here on AFR. Cam Sanders, right-handed pitchers, getting the call up to the major leagues. The Pittsburgh Pirates are the team that made it happen. Of course, Sanders drafted by the Cubs in the 2018 draft in the 12th round. This ends about a 7-year journey through minor league baseball. Signed with the Pirates this offseason across 2 levels, AA and AAA, 33 games, 4-1, 1.91 ERA, 11 saves. Next stop, the big leagues for Cam Sanders.
I talked to Scott earlier today. We texted. Cam is active tonight. First pitch is at 5:40 Central. They're hosting the Giants tonight in Pittsburgh, and he's active out of the bullpen. So Cam Sanders could make his debut tonight.
Let's hope that happens, man. I saw that today. I was like, let's go. Like, hell yeah, man. Finally. He had plenty of worthy years. That's for sure.
No doubt.
Another transaction, Ethan Fry now has his assignment. He will start in the low A for the Astros with the Fayetteville Woodpeckers. And Mason Taylor right now is sidelined with a high ankle sprain, so he will not be playing in the Jets' first preseason game this weekend. Alex Bregman went 2 for 3 last night. That's Tigers in the pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com, LMFJ.com. Do you think if the Woodpeckers win a championship, maybe Lee Michaels can furnish the rings for them?
Of course they can. I think so, yeah.
Thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. It's rare. You go to a charity, a function, or event without seeing that red box. They're so charitable, have been for 4 decades. Thrilling Louisianians trying to get engaged or just need that great gift. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com, LMFJ.com. Okay, Sports Center's coming up. Hour number 2 is next.
AFR.
Man, it was great to have both EJ and Ryan in studio with us yesterday from Our Lady of the Lake to explain more about the arena naming process and why Our Lady of the Lake has invested so much in their partnership with LSU, combining those 2 amazing brands. But, the thing that we tell you oftentimes is when it comes to healthcare, primarily people want 2 things. They want access and they want convenience. And Our Lady of the Lake, part of the Franciscan Missionaries of Our Lady Health System, certainly provides that. If it's the main campus there on Essen, if it's the Our Lady of the Lake Standalone Children's Hospital, if it's the many different clinics and all the specialized services that they offer from cancer, heart, stroke, mentioned pediatrics, it's Our Lady of the Lake, caring for LSU athletes, LSU students alike, and everyday champions like you and me. It's Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Learn more online. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Together we roar.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Luba Workers Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. The NFL has suspended Vikings receiver Jordan Addison the first 3 games of the season for violating the substance abuse policy connected to a 2024 DUI citation. Browns rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders will start Friday's preseason opener. Dylan Gabriel, Kenny Pickett nursing injuries. Joe Flacco won't play. ESPN NFL analyst and former NFL head coach Herm Edwards.
I always told guys this, when you get an opportunity to start, go do it. Mm-hmm. And if you go real well, you play really good, you know what? You might just stay in there. So he gets the first shot.
Herm on Freddie and Harry. The newly signed Tyler Huntley likely relieves Sanders Friday night. Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson will start Thursday's first preseason game against the Ravens. Daniel Jones gets the call the second preseason game for Indy August 16th. Baseball, Yankee slugger Aaron Judge returns from a flexor strain in his right elbow tonight against the Rangers. He'll DH and bat third. Giancarlo Stanton not the starting lineup. He's been the DH in the 32 games he's played this season.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. If you're a renter, make sure you're protected. Renter's insurance includes options that cover stolen property, personal injury, and living expenses if your place is damaged. Quote renter's insurance at progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's rock! Go!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Murray Musso. I'm not going to let it die. We need a Murray. You're going to be our Murray.
Murray, present.
And Mr. Toby Tomplin. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Tigers wrapped up day 6 of fall camp today. The Saints finish practice. They're headed to L.A. They'll have a few workouts in L.A. before the game Sunday against the Chargers. Of course, we'll be following it all along. You miss anything, AFR On Demand, presented by Breck Golf. Book your tee time at golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org. Eddie Kennison, former Tiger great, good enough to join us because, man, talking about these receivers is tantalizing. But there is one gigantic question that I have about this group, and I'm excited to get his opinion on it. Eddie, thanks for the time as always, man. How are you?
Hey, Matt, doing great, brother. Hey, man, it's pretty exciting. It's football season, man.
I know, man. To get out there and actually see real football things is actually pretty fun instead of just talking about speculation. But I'll tell you what, man, we all know what LSU has coming back. Aaron Anderson, your leading returning receiver. Chris Hilton, who you and I talked about last year. Xavier Thomas had a great season a year ago. And then you brought in Nick Anderson and Barry and Brady. You got all these guys, Eddie. When you're in that room, how do you keep everybody fed? How do you keep everybody happy in that room when you have so many targets?
Well, first of all, how you keep everyone happy is to have them understand and get all those guys on the same page, that understanding that everybody can't get the ball all the time and play selfless football. And when it is your time to shine, then it's your time to shine. And that's pretty much how you keep everybody happy, is understanding that football has to be selfless. We understand that everybody wants the ball, but there's only one. But when all of the guys can be on the same page and hope for the best of the next guy to be successful, everybody's happy.
Were you ever in a room that was that deep?
I'm going to say I was on a team, not at LSU. I mean, we had myself, Shea Wilson, Chris Hill as tight end, but the deepest I had was in Kansas City when we had like Priest Holmes, Larry Johnson, Eddie Kennison, Tony Gonzalez, that group of folks. But it was also, I go back to what I just said, I think that team and that group of receivers and tight ends, we were just selfless guys, man, and it worked out for the best.
Eddie, do you think, it's interesting that the parallel you drew there was to the Chiefs team you were on, where everybody's a professional, and obviously you're trying to produce for a contract. Now you introduce the NIL rev share component of this, and these guys trying to show for the next level as well. Are you concerned at all about how that may factor into that room?
Not at all. Not at all. The things that I've heard, and the staff that Coach Kelly and LSU football has brought in to help these young guys, get a better understanding of the NIL and the rev share. And I think our NIL department is doing a pretty fantastic job with laying out, what this looks like for them, what it looks like for LSU. And I've had the opportunity to get to know a couple of those guys, a couple of receivers that are there, Chris Hilton being one of them, and his leadership. Those guys, they will get it, they will understand, and it helps them to get ready for the next level, and potentially the NFL. And if it's not the NFL, it gets them geared and prepared for money management and finance management in the life after football, whether it's in business or them being entrepreneurs or working for someone and having a family and being able to budget that. So I think LSU is doing a pretty fantastic job with setting those guys up for success.
Eddie Kenison is our guest. Eddie, why is Cortez Hankton so good at what he does?
Because he's played the game, brother. He's been in it a long time. And his love for what he does, it just carries over into the receivers and the players that he's coaching. He's seen it. He's done it. He's lived it. And he's been doing it for a long time. And even better than that, he's a phenomenal human being. You see him
see him with his wife and his kids and how he treats them. And he carries that same enthusiasm and love and passion for the game into the receiver's room. And I know the guys in that room, they see it, they feel it, and they want to be successful because Cortez is so passionate and he's so giving and loving to those guys in his room.
That's very evident. The players love him and love to play for him, that position group. Eddie Kennison's our guest, former Tiger great. We talked last year, and I asked you, who you thought could be poised for a breakout year, and you said Chris Hilton. And but for the injury, I probably would have been. I mean, he showed what he was capable of in those last 3 games where he went off when he was finally healthy. So I ask you a similar question. What do you think is a realistic expectation for Chris this year, provided he stays healthy?
Brother, I think he has the capability to outperform any wide receiver in the collegiate ranks right now. I believe that last year, and I believe that true to be this year. I tell you, Matt, I've prayed for Chris for him to be healthy so we all could see the talent that Chris Hilton has. I've seen it when he was a freshman when I was on staff there, and man, I just hope and pray, and I've been asking God for him to be healthy so we can all see what I've seen and what I believe that he could put on the football field. And I believe he will achieve, if he stays healthy, the highest honors in collegiate football at the wide receiver position.
Eddie, we know Chris has the great speed, right? I mean, we see it, his ability to stretch the field. What else has made him a problem, right? A great wide receiver. What else is there?
Well, I think what's there is the chip that's on his shoulder for him wanting to play and play a full season and play, for the Tigers in an entire season. So he has for himself, something to prove. And there's no greater weapon in a football player, and in particular a wide receiver, than to prove something to himself, to get out and compete and ball out, as they would say, man. And that's what he has. He has that extra chip because he hasn't been able to perform at the level or every game or every season like he wanted to. So, man, that chip, that's his extra weapon right there.
Yeah. So when I asked you last year, a guy who you thought would have a big year, you said Chris Hilton. Let me ask you that same question again and ask you, other than Chris, is there someone you're excited to see this year who you think may be able to take that next step?
Oh, man. Gosh. To be honest, because I haven't seen like a lot of practice, I haven't seen a lot of film, I haven't watched a whole lot. I know our young guy, Kenison, who had, a really, really good season last year. We'd love to, see him have another kind of season like last year, even better. And with that being said, if he does have another season like he had last year, and if Chris stays healthy, brother, I tell you what, it could be pretty dominating for our wide receivers group.
Yeah. That is a deep and talented and scary group, Eddie. I mean, when you go out there and you see like Nick Anderson, the kid from Oklahoma who's 6'4" and can fly, and Barry Brown from Kentucky who just stretches the field, nobody can guard. It's like, are those the 4th and 5th best guys on this team? I mean, it is an embarrassment of riches right now in that receiver room. They're going to be a lot of fun to watch. You have Nuss keep spinning the pill. Eddie Kennison, former Tiger great. Man, it's always great to hear your voice. It's great to chat. We appreciate you for making a few minutes for us today.
Hey, Matt, anytime, brother. I love you, man, and continue doing great work and representing our Tigers in the most positive way that you do, man. So I'm proud of you, and thank you for representing the Tigers.
Thanks, Eddie. We'll talk soon, man.
Okay.
That is Eddie Kennison, former Tiger great. Always love to get a few minutes with Eddie here on the show. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Parish Restoration. Kill mold, remove odor. Say it often, but Louisiana is the mold capital of the world. It's wet and it's humid. It's a breeding ground for mold. Sometimes you can look up by your air vent, and if you see like little black specks, chances are that's black mold. You could have mold in your walls and you don't even know it. If you've got water spots on your ceiling or your walls, that water didn't just show up, right? It's been there, and then it started to accumulate, and then you see the water spots start to formulate, so that means you probably got mold as well. Great way to knock it out, Parish Restoration. It's a patented, non-toxic dry fog. Patented means nobody else is using it. Non-toxic, meaning it's safe. It's safe for your plants and your pets and your family. You don't have to worry about what chemicals they're spraying in your home. It's safe. It's non-toxic. And it's a dry fog. So just think about that. Dry fog as opposed to a wet fog, meaning you're not pulling up carpet, you're not cutting sheetrock, it's not going to damage your furniture. It's safe, it's effective, it's efficient, it's cost-effective. It's Parish Restoration. Your home, office building, your vehicle, all the way up to the largest commercial building in the state of Louisiana. They can help you out at Parish Restoration. Give them a call or go to the website to fill out that form on the homepage to get an estimate. ParishRestoration.com, ParishRestoration.com. Appreciate Eddie Kennison for a few minutes here. I really do think about that. And whenever we're out there watching practice, it is such – you're going to see this. Like whenever you have the opportunity to watch LSU for the first time, and maybe you're fortunate enough to get out to a practice, maybe you watch some practice video, maybe it's when they play Clemson. Whenever you see them for the first time, you're going to see what I and others are describing. It is such a free-flowing personnel rotation. Like the ones go out there and they run a rep, and then a new wave of receivers come in, or a new wave of DBs come in, or defensive ends. Like it's just, they're so deep. And they're so talented. The onus is just on this coaching staff to figure out how to maximize all of this talent that they have. And if they do that, this could be a really special season because they aren't weak anywhere. And I know we're talking about the offensive line having their struggles, but I'm telling you, not guessing, I'm telling you, there is a ton of talent in that offensive line room. You just got to get 5 to play as 1. And if they figure that out, they're going to be really good, man. But I'm going to be fascinated to see how Joe Sloan distributes the football because you have so much talent on that side of the ball, and there's only one ball. So how do you get everyone involved? It's going to be really fascinating to watch that this year. All right, it's after further review. Glad you're hanging out with us here on Tuesday, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana, sunnyquip.com, sunnyquip.com. Tractors, zero-turn mowers, gators, they got it all at Sunshine. Newest location coming on Pico in Baton Rouge as well. You can see where they're building the exit on I-10 to Pico. They broke ground last month on that new John Deere location, Sunshine John Deere on Pico. Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana, sunnyquip.com, sunnyquip.com. All right, y'all. It is after further review. Man, we have just flown through the show today. If you want to get a question in, email us, tweet us, text us. You can jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel or text 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Been getting some questions in on the text line about just things that maybe you have questions about the team. Feel free to fire away. We'll continue. And also, maybe another not so great sign for the New Orleans Saints from a win-loss perspective coming up in 2025. We'll get to that as well as we continue here. It's AFR.
AFR.
If you are thinking about building a pool, make sure you give our friends over at Duplessis Builders a shout. You see, when it comes to Duplessis Builders, I can give you so many different forms of validation. Like, first of all, you can take my word for it. It's one of the reasons they pay me to endorse them. Is you deem me to be a credible person, so I say Duplessis is a good company, and hopefully you'll give them a chance to earn your business. That's number one. And then you have third-party validation, like Pool & Spa Magazine, who just came out with their list of the top 50 pool companies in America, and Duplessis Builders was number 26 on that list. In America, not in Louisiana, in America. That's validation. And then you see it in the Google reviews, and you see it in the fact that they offer a 10-year workmanship warranty when the industry standard is 1 year. Why? Because Derek knows they're building you a quality product, and so he'll stand behind that product. DuplessisBuilders.net. DuplessisBuilders.net.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system.
from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
At Louisville Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At LUVA, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Well, I got another one.
What you got? Another what?
Another story about the Saints stinking.
Again?
Well, that's what they are, Muse.
Oh.
Excuse me. It's what they are, Murray.
Murray, present.
So stupid.
So? Of course it is.
Oh, man.
I didn't say it was like the greatest radio thing ever.
Yeah. That's true. You didn't.
I never said that.
You did not.
I didn't say to you, know what's going to be awesome, Muse? I'm going to change your name to Murray so we can play the Murray drop, and everybody's going to love it. Radio. Put him in the Hall of Fame. I didn't say that. I didn't sing that song.
I mean, you just did, but not in the moment.
Not in the moment. I didn't do that.
Not in the moment, you didn't. No.
One of the things I've been consistent about this offseason is pointing out, I did this last year with Derek Carr, last 2 years with Derek Carr. Every quarterback ranking, every tier list, every PFF this or that, every front office personnel, anonymous coach. We talked about all of them. When they would talk about Derek Carr, they all had him in a, I would say lower middle tier, upper bottoms. He was a 20s quarterback in the NFL. He was a starter. He was an NFL starter, but everyone who sort of expected him to be something after a decade in the NFL, which we had a large enough sample size to show what he was. Like, it's why it wasn't that I was just dogpiling on Derek Carr. I was just trying to lay out the very clear evidence from everybody outside of just blindly loyal fans telling you what this guy is. And so it's a similar thing here when we talk about the Saints. Like the Super Bowl odds right now for every team at DraftKings, the Bills, do you realize the Bills have the best odds to win the Super Bowl? They're at plus 600.
I did not realize that, actually. Okay, wow.
The Bills and the Ravens both are at plus 600. The Eagles at plus 700. The Chiefs at 850. Lions at plus 1100. Commanders plus 1800. Anyway, dead last. Worst odds. The worst odds. Your New Orleans Saints plus 40,000. Plus 40,000. The New Orleans Saints have the worst odds of all 32 teams in the NFL to win the Super Bowl. ESPN came up with their list. They ranked every roster, 1 to 32. New Orleans Saints were dead last. By the way, right now at DraftKings, the team garnering the most action to win the fewest games, your New Orleans Saints. The Browns and the Saints have equal odds to finish with the worst record in the NFL, plus 400. But the Saints are getting 46% of the bets and 52% of the handle. That means 52% of the money is coming on the Saints to have the worst record in the NFL. The Browns have just 12% of the bets and 13% of the handle. Like, there's still a contingent, and I want to be clear, like, it's August the 5th, and the Saints are about to play their first preseason game. And people are excited because the season's almost here. We're a little more than a month away from watching the Saints and the Cardinals in the Dome. They're going to put on actual uniforms, even if they're those hideous black helmets and those gaudy gold jerseys and the stupidity they keep doing because they can't get an alternate uniform right. They're going to play real football, and you should be excited about it anytime you have the opportunity to watch your team play. The thing that I am trying to illustrate in doing this is just managing a realistic expectation. So I'm promising you this. I promise you. Murray, mark the tape, okay, Murray?
Murray, present.
I want you to mark the tape. You got your pen?
Got the pen.
All right. What are you marking? Like, what are you actually writing down?
I was going to write down the date and the time that you said whatever you're about to say.
I am not going to yell and scream about a Saints result this year. Okay? It's my promise to you. Now, Kellen Moore does some dumb-ish. I might yell about him doing some dumb-ish. Okay, is that fair?
That's fair.
Like a specific decision or something like that. But my expectations for this team as far as a win-loss record are nil. Like, they are not winning the division. They are not going to the playoffs. I think their ceiling, everything breaks their way. I think their ceiling is 7. Ceiling. They're probably a 4 or 5 win team. By the way, I picked them last year 5-12. They went 5-12. Nailed the number. I just look at this team as what they are. But my hope for this Saints season, I honestly believe, despite the fact that they're not going to be good, I think I'm going to enjoy this Saints season more than any season since 2018. The bike life. The number 1 seed NFC Championship game. Until the Nolan no call. You want to know why?
Yeah, I do want to know why, actually.
That season was so much fun. Right? Teddy Bridgewater, the locker room post-game parties, the bike life, the number 1 seed. Such a fun year. Such a fun team, Choppa style, everything. Nolan no call happened, and it was atrocious. But after Nolan no call, we all knew the clock was ticking on Drew Brees' career. And every Sunday for me and a lot of Saints fans, there was so much angst wrapped into every game because you knew the clock was ticking on this era with Brees. Like, every year could have been his last year in the league, and they were chasing one more title under him. And so when you got Nolan no called and it was brutal, then you went into 2019 and then you lose to the Vikings with the Kyle Rudolph push-off. and then you go into 2020, which ends up being Drew's last season, and you beat the Bears, and then you have the hideous loss to Tampa Bay, a team you had already beaten twice. It was just, there was so much angst. It was hard to enjoy it. Does that make sense? It was hard to enjoy the wins. It felt more like an exhalation because you were just trying to get to the top of the mountain one more time with Drew, and you were all in to do it. And you didn't get there, and that sucked. And since then, you've had a general manager who, in my opinion, has made errant decisions in continuing to try to chase a title when that window closed. Turns out I was right and Gumsmack and Mick was wrong. But Grandma Gail has continued to make sure that Gumsmack and Mick has been gainfully employed, despite the fact that he's ran the organization right into the ground where they are right now. But despite his best efforts to not enter a full-on rebuild, that's where you are. And I'm okay with that. It's where I think they should have been 2 years ago instead of signing Derek Carr. I was okay trying it with Jameis. At that point, you should have moved on. Anyway, I am excited about this season because this is the opportunity to see if you can lay the foundation for what the next contender will be. You drafted 9 players. You've got 2 good young offensive tackles. Like, we may look at what Sean Payton does in Denver this year and have a little bit of angst, right? I mean, it'll be a little bit of longing. I mean, if he found his quarterback and they're in the playoffs again and they're making a push toward a potential championship, maybe they're challenging the Chiefs in that division. But do you remember what picks, like what the Saints turned the picks from the Payton trade, what players they turned those picks into? Do you remember?
No, I don't.
So remember, they got the Sean Payton trade with Denver. They drafted Brian Brzee, and then they used the second-round pick to move up to get Kool-Aid McKinstry. So, like, I want to see if Brian Brzee's ready to be a legit starter in the NFL. We haven't talked a lick about him in this camp. Is Kool-Aid McKinstry ready to be a legit number 1 corner? What about at safety? Like, you drafted Jonas Sanker. Can he be a guy for you? Is Alontae Taylor going to be a starter? Is Danny Stutzman the heir apparent to Demario Davis? Like, those are exciting things. It's a reframed conversation. It's a different conversation than, what's the 53rd guy to make the roster, because that could be the little bitty marginal difference that helps you win a championship. Like, we're not having that conversation. It's just a completely new convo about, are you laying the foundation with starting caliber players that you drafted that can build a foundation upon which then you can go draft other players and add, as you reset your cap, add key veterans via free agency to see if you can go win a championship. Like, that's exciting. The rebuild is exciting, building towards something new. The result this year isn't going to be fun, losing a whole bunch of games, but learning what you have in these young players is exciting. And that's just how I'm looking forward to this season. And I would advise you to do the same. Because if you go into every Sunday that the Saints play expecting them to win, because, by the way, ever since 2006, I guess we could probably say 2009, because 7 and 8 weren't very good years. But ever since 2009, every Sunday we expected the New Orleans Saints to win. Not to say that was realistic that they were going to win, but every time you sat down and watched the team play, you expected they were going to win the game. Certainly thought they could win the game. That's not the case at all this year. They're going to lose a ton. They're going to lose way more than they win. And I'm okay with it. Not that I'm okay losing, but I understand this year isn't about the win-loss record. This is about building the foundation for your future. And I'm actually looking forward to that. All right, it's after further review. We're brought to you by Parrish Construction and Roofing. Maybe you have a foundation, but on top of that foundation, on top of that structure upon which the foundation is built, there must be a roof. That was a very clumsy transition. I was trying to transition and talk about roofs, foundations, and segue. I probably missed the mark. What never misses the mark, however, is Parrish Construction and Roofing. We'd love to help you out, commercial or residential, roof repairs, replacements. There was an awful hail event about 1 week ago. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday of last week. Awful hail event. A lot of Baton Rouge lost power. if it was Wednesday, if you had hail, you probably had damage that you can't see from the ground. So what you need to do is get a free, no obligation roofing inspection. Let us come, get on the roof. It's totally free. You don't even need to be home. It's just permission to walk it, mark it, chalk it. We'll give you pictures, full report of everything. So that way, even if there's nothing wrong with your roof, awesome. The next time a storm comes, and if you do have damage and you have to file a claim, you can show your insurance company, hey, look, this was the inspection report we had done on August the 5th, which showed, look at these pictures very clearly, this is new damage, which is relatable to that storm. Anyway, let us help you out. We've got insurance professionals on staff. It's Parish Construction Roofing, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Go to the website, fill out the form on the homepage, do business with someone you know, Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com. All right, y'all, it's after further review. Jimmy will be here for Otterlocks in about 15 minutes from right now. We're looking forward to that. Remember, you can always email us, tweet us, or text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. I got a question from, let's see. I got a question from Andy about the offensive line, a question from Andrew about the defensive line. We'll get to those when we come back on AFR.
AFR.
Whoo, boy. 95 degrees at 5:33 in the afternoon. That is no bueno, friends. You know what's even worse? If you get home and your AC is out. Do not let that happen. Well, there's not much you can do to prevent that if your AC is going to go out. But what you don't want to do is sleep in a hot house. And with River City's 1 hour air, you never will. That's because nights, holidays, weekends, they'll always come out. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. You see them all over town because your friends and neighbors do what I do. They trust River City's 1 hour air to get the job done right, in a timely manner, at the right price. And they're never going to pressure you. They're going to lay out your options. They'll give you a good, better, and best option. And you decide what you want to do based on your budget and how you want to manage your system. It's River City's 1 hour air. Call them today. 752-0001.
Businesses like yours are the soul of our community. You deserve someone who'll deliver the internet services you deserve. That's why local businesses rely on Rev Business. 90 years of building connections. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team color, team swag, and now your very own website. LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net. Powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Huh. Looks like the lucky just got luckier.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Sexy, it really turns her on. She's always staring at me while I'm chugging along. She likes the way it's pulling while we're tilling up her land. She's even kind of crazy.
If you look carefully, where were a lot of the pressures were from inside out, not outside in. And that's a great thing, right? When you have guys that are creating issues from the inside out of the pocket instead of just rushing off the edge, where you can get a hand on them and widen it and step up. Where we're getting our best success is inside out. And so, Gooden, Guillory, Butler played some inside. Gabe can play a little bit inside. We can be very dynamic from an inside-out perspective as well. Obviously McKinley's big and long. So when you add that to, what we think is 4 guys that can play off the edge, you got a pretty dynamic pass rush now.
Okay. Brian Kelly, I wanted to lead with that soundbite from Brian Kelly about the LSU pass rush inside out, because I got a question on the text line from Andrew Cromwell. And this is all because today, on Tuesday, in the 11-on-11 period when they did a scrimmage, the defensive front really overwhelmed the LSU offensive line. Just, again, very quickly, in case if you missed the full practice report earlier when we went through it, in 11-on-11, you had a Bernard Gooden had a TFL for a loss of 2 yards. There was a sack. Forgive me, I missed the number on that one. Pyburn had a sack. Don McKinley had a TFL for a 2-yard loss. These were all in the ones, by the way. Tylen Singleton with the 2s had a sack. The ones went back on the field. Pyburn had a TFL for a loss of 5 yards. All that to say, the defensive front was overwhelming today. And so a lot of people are looking at that, and rightfully so, going, should we be really concerned about the offense? But I want to read this question because I want to draw an important illustration of why I feel the way I do. Andrew said, Matt, is the defensive line success so far more representative of their skill or the O-line's lack of experience? Given Clemson already has a better D-line than what our first offensive line sees in practice, will Sloan plan to get the ball out quick because of this? Okay, what I would like to address is the part where he says Clemson has a better D-line than what the LSU O-line sees in practice. Hold on. This is the part where I need you to pay attention. Please, not going to give you a ton of numbers, just please pay attention to me. Because the biggest takeaway that I have so far looking at this matchup is how deep and talented LSU's defensive line is. The guys they paid a buttload of money to come in to make them better are making them better. Patrick Payton, Jamari Butler, Jack Pyburn, Bernard Gooden, in addition to Dominic McKinley, Ahmad Bro, Gabe Relaford. Let me just give you an illustration. The 2 best defensive linemen for Clemson that are returning are Peter Woods and TJ Parker. Woods is an interior player. Parker plays outside. Peter Woods has played in 23 games. He's got 3 sacks and 11 TFLs. Parker has played in 27 games. Really good player. 16.5 sacks, 32 TFLs. They brought in Will Helt from Purdue. He was one of the big defensive ends out of Purdue. Everybody wanted him. LSU wanted him. Will Helt at Purdue had 5 sacks and 10 TFLs. Okay? I say all that as an illustration. Remember I told you about TJ Parker, really good player at Clemson, 16.5 sacks, 32 TFLs during his career? Patrick Payton has 16 sacks, 31.5 TFLs. They've got the same level of productivity. Patrick Payton's running with the 2s at LSU right now. Jamari Butler, 6th-year player. Jamari Butler's played in 37 career games. 7.5 sacks, 17 TFLs. That's more than Will Helt's got. More than Peter Woods' got. That's before we even talk about Relaford and Gooden and Pyburn. Like, the point being, I don't know that Clemson has a better defensive line than LSU. Yo, maybe you're sitting there going, that's gigantic homer talk. Or maybe this is the reason LSU went and spent a buttload of money on all of these guys, because they've all played 20, 30 games and are really proven pass rushers, because LSU struggled outside of Swinson last year to generate a pass rush. Part of that was Perkins' injury, and they had relied so much on him, but they certainly had no interior pass rush. Bernard Gooden's going to fix that. Promise you that. And you got Perkins back. And you got Butler and Pyburn and Payton and Relaford. Like, I don't know that Clemson's defensive line is that much better than LSU's. I get a year ago LSU wasn't very good. I get it. But the whole point in going into the transfer portal and buying this roster was to be much better. And they're much better. Now, the flip side, he said, was against LSU's inexperienced offensive line. They're not an inexperienced offensive line. They're just inexperienced together. Braylon Moore is a 2-year starter at Virginia Tech. Josh Thompson's a multi-year starter at Northwestern in the Big Ten. DJ Chester started all 13 games for LSU a season ago. Paul Mabenga started 5 games for LSU a year ago. They've got experience, and they got talent. They just don't have experience together. Now, going to Clemson, week 1 is a massive challenge. I wish they had 2 layups before they had to go play that game. Like A&M's going to play 2 breathers before they go play in South Bend. I wish LSU would schedule that way. They didn't. They're going to go play week 1 at Clemson. That sucks. But this offensive line, I can't say definitively that what they're going to face at Clemson talent-wise is light years better than what they're facing at LSU right now. It's why you went and bought this roster. Because they're all really good players and have proven to be really good players during their college careers. Not going to overreact to one practice. If anything, I would say your reaction should be, damn, they got some dudes on that defensive front. And y'all, they got some dudes on that defensive front. We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank vinyl siding. They do it all, do it better than anyone. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Give them a buzz, y'all. 288-8138, 288-8138, 288-8138. Or go to ReliefWindows.com, ReliefWindows.com. Give Brandon Holly and the gang a call. You want to set up a consultation? Go see one of their associates at their showroom. Showroom is gorgeous. It's on Airline Highway in Prairieville. If you're going south on Airline, you cross 42. It's about a quarter mile on the right. Can't miss it. Big, beautiful showroom. Actually, the same contractor that designed the renovated LSU football ops did the Relief Windows showroom. You'll see a lot of the similarities, but it's gorgeous. They'll treat you right. They measure twice. They install once. Every window custom made for your home, expertly installed. Fantastic customer service department. They have an entire service department, which is why they can get to you more quickly, which is why you're going to have a better customer service experience. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. They'll never be the cheapest. They'll never be the cheapest, but they'll always be the best. The best quality, the best customer service, the best everything. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Okay, y'all, it is After Further Review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. If you missed Shea Dixon in Hour 1, talking some Cruton, Fletcher Mackel was talking Saints in Hour 2. We had Eddie Kennison with us here earlier this hour. You can catch it all on demand, AFR on demand, presented by Breck Golf. Book your tee time at golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org. 1 segment left to go. We'll do a little Otterlocks, find out what we're betting on tonight. Jimmy's here next to wrap it up on AFR.
AFR.
Yo, if you're a business owner, and I tell you every day, if you're trying to find the right people, Glow Resources can help. GLO, glowresources.com, glowresources.com. You know, the hiring market for so many is so bad right now, which means a lot of businesses are looking for help in hiring. And when you work with Glow Resources is a permanent solution. They do not lose customers. At Glow Resources, they pride themselves on taking the headache out. You are selecting from a pre-qualified batch. If you are tired of experimenting, stop going the cheapest route. Stop wasting money on training and all the effort. Do it right the first time. Long term, that will be a cost-saving solution. That's why you need Glow Resources. They score themselves on how long their employees stay with their customers. And they take everything. They take care of everything involved. It's GLO, glowresources.com.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here. We eat out here. We watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Tuesday edition of AFR. Big shout out to our friends over at Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Visit sunnyquip.com, sunnyquip.com. All right, one thing left to do is find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otterlocks.
Otterlocks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Otter, how are you?
Doing great, Matthew. How about you?
And I couldn't be any better if I tried. Best day in the history of mankind. Fired up.
There you go. What makes it the best day? Well, I'm curious.
I woke up this morning. My feet hit the ground. Got air in my lungs. Got to go watch a little football today. Better make it the best day ever. Let's do it.
Yes, indeed.
And we get to polish off the night with some winners, baby. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Let's go, Otter!
Let's go. All right, let's start with the A's. On the road tonight, but that young lineup's been producing a little bit. Severino is hot. I believe this one is underway. No score in the first inning, but we're going to go with the A's plus a little money in that one.
Okay.
It's going to continue with the hottest team in baseball, the best record in baseball, Milwaukee Brewers. They got their opening day starter on the hill today, Peralta, against down-the-line pitching for Atlanta. Wins. Boy, Atlanta is just doing everything wrong. They're two teams, talk about one of the biggest overachievers and one of the biggest underachievers this year. The Brewers and the Braves, they're making, kind of getting back at them for stealing their team from Milwaukee way back in the day. But anyway, taking the Brewers and Peralta minus about 35-40. Is it now?
I'm looking. Sorry. My app is just loading slowly, but go ahead. I'll keep looking.
Okay. Going to continue fading the Yankees. Going to take the Texas Rangers, and this is not just a fade on the Yankees. Obviously, they lost a tough one, but Eovaldi is the real story here. He does not qualify for the ERA stat just yet, but he will, and he is a big cushion built up as the best ERA in the American League. So against the struggling Yankees, I'm sure you paid attention. How poorly fundamental are they on the bases and the field? And we saw it on display in the World Series last year when they were eliminated, blowing that league. We're going to take the Rangers to continue with the Baldy and
by the way,
against the Yankees.
Brewers are minus $1.44 right now at DraftKings.
Okay. And then we're going to lay a run with the Dodgers, -1. Again, DraftKings over at the Queen. They'll allow you to just lay 1 instead of 1.5, which you don't want to do as a home team. This is more of a fade of Mackel as well. The Cardinals fans are not real happy with him. Once upon a time this season, the Cardinals were in contention. That's long gone now. So the Dodgers -1, laying a little bit of a number right there. And if you don't want to just lay that big number, you want to tie it up with something, do the same thing with the Red Sox here. Ocean Springs, Mississippi product. That's right. Austin Crochet, he's on the hill. They're hot. They've won 7 in a row. Lay the 1 run, and the line, I think about 75. It might be higher at DraftKings.
Okay.
But if you could put them together if you don't want to lay that much juice.
Yeah, the Red Sox on the money line are 2.5. I'm looking at 1.5. It's -110. I'm trying to find the number, but
you got to go to game lines.
Yep. Game lines. If it lets me, there we go. Alternate. The Red Sox are -$1.80.
There you go. -1 to -$1.80.
Yep.
So you might want to put that one, and you can see how it's going because that's an early start and a late start on the West Coast, so you can kind of play with it if you get to the first half in. But you just got to take these Red Sox. They're hitting the ball, and Crochet is dynamite.
All right, Otter, where are you tomorrow?
We're at the original Walk-Ons on Burbank in the shadows of Tiger Stadium.
Awesome, man. Good luck tonight. We'll do it again tomorrow. All the picks are up at LouisianaSports.net if you missed any of them. Thank you, Otter.
Good luck.
All right, man. Same to you. All right, we'll do it for us here on this Tuesday edition of AFR. Remember, if you miss anything, AFR On Demand presented by Breck Golf. You can book your tee time at golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org, and get anything. Just search AFR LSU or AFR Saints on either YouTube or your favorite podcast app. You'll see all the content for you right there. All right, no LSU media availability tomorrow. The Saints are heading out to L.A. Muse, Paulie, thanks. Y'all have a great night. See you tomorrow at 3.
After further review.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wild.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
River Parish Contractors has immediate openings for structural steel shop fabricators. Call or text Big Jake today at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on employment. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.